Welcome back to episode 4. Not just the hill giants involved. This is a classic DM. Let's do a quick summary of what's happened so far, in case you're tuning in a little bit late in the ball game. So we're in the steading of the hill giant chief, and our party's been working their way through the whole facility, or the fortress, however you want to call it. And last episode, we dispatched some guards that were sleeping in these barracks, and then tucked their bodies back underneath the sheets to make it appear as if no one made it out alive. They've recovered most of the night, and what they're doing now is getting ready to move on further into the facility. For those of you who don't remember the backstory, let's just take a look over here for a moment. So, our story really begins with the tiger nomads, Ket, and seemingly Tusmet. And basically what's happened is Prince Aiden and Princess Amara's firstborn child have been abducted. And that abduction is very, very nasty because there's a lot of clues that are connecting it to drow interference. So no one really knows the exact details, but when the child was abducted, the problem is that Ket and the Tiger Nomads are kind of bonded together by this union between these two people. So all the siblings of Aiden, which are 3 of the characters in the party, and the siblings of Mara, which is 4 characters from the Tiger Nomads, are working together to recover the stolen child. Okay? So in the process of doing that, they track down a number of clues. Now, Tusmet and Ket have been at odds with each other for a long, long time now, and they were suspected their former leader was involved, and since there was an assassination tip many years ago. If you want to get a lot more detail about the storyline, you should check out episode 1. Episode 1 completely goes over all the details and the backstory in great detail. We're going to get to the action here real quickly, but I want to give someone a little bit of an overview. So, the night patrol some period later discovered a number of dead hill giants up in the hills. They found a dead drow elf that had a map to the hill giant fortress and all kinds of other details, and around his necklace was a insignia of House Hellseer. So people who know their Greyhawk lore know where this is heading, and there's no surprises there, because if you played through this original venture, you know what the ultimate outcome is many, 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 many months down the road. But I've changed the story around some, so this is much more customized. So what we're going to do today, let's go ahead and get back to our party. Here's our party sheet, and let's go see where they are and see what they're going to do next. So now, as you remember, if you do remember, that is, they have wiped out this barracks chamber, and they've kept silence throughout the whole time. They haven't raised the alarm. They worked their way to the front door, and they've recovered all the health. Everyone's okay. They've checked everything on this room, locked this door down. They had blocked the doorway, so if anything tried to open a doorway, they would know about it and be able to pounce on them. So now it's back to silent mode. And what they decided to do after a quick discussion is backtrack back down one of these hallways. This is the southeastern corner of the whole place. If you actually look at the little classic sketch done years and years ago, but I think it's a Sutherland sketch. If you look here, or it could be Errol Otis, I can't remember. This corner here, they're inside this room that's in this corner right here, okay? They worked their way to the front door, went through a few doorways here, and they've been ducking around what I call the back halls. Now, we got a whole episode that's dedicated to just all that combat and everything. So what we're going to do first is Mercedes acting pretty much as the leader, and she's up here with Zolaris. So this is Zolaris, a Tiger Nomad warrior fighter, and here's Mercedes. But Varenjar is the level 10 assassin. He's been very instrumental with his hiding shadows. And Elafonisi's had a bad time, but she's got some skills too. So what we're going to do to keep it quiet is Varenjar and Elafonissi are going to slip out first and hide in shadows before they do. So let's do a quick check on that, because they've cased down this hallway this way pretty good, and they've come this way, but it's been a period of time, and there's going to be something wandering around. Guards could come in the area and things like that will throw them off. So let's just go ahead and take a look at let's do Elafonissi and Varenjar. Are both 30%. If you look down here, it's 30% for her for hide, hear noise. His is hear noise is 30%. His hide and shadows is 68. Her hide and shadows is 68 too. So when it comes to those rolls, we're going to get super fast at it, right? So we'll use purple for Varenjar. So he doesn't completely hide in shadows, but remember, the way I play this is if you think you're hiding in shadows, this is a 9, so she's completely hidden. So I know how to handle that as your DM, but they're both going to move as if they're hidden in shadows together very slowly. Now remember, in D&D, these movement rates, you see Elafonissi's got a 24 movement rate. The basic rules say that one melee round, right? Let's just draw that here so you can see it. One round equals 60 seconds. Okay? So if you've played, you'll notice that I accelerate that a little bit by making one combat round is really one segment. So one segment is 6 seconds. And as you may have heard me talk about in one of the episodes before, the reasoning behind that is that it's kind of ridiculous. Let's say there was a combat fight here, that you're fighting these hill giants, and these characters are engaged in melee with this hill giant here, and they're going back and forth. Now, in the original rules, they say over the course of a minute, these two are fighting, and there's one d20 roll to see what happens. So these other characters are not just going to stand there and wiggle back and forth like characters from Ico or in a Kung Fu movie. So I keep it at 6 seconds. And a 6 second period, or one segment for me, basically means like a thrust and a parry and a back and a take, from foot position, a shuffle left, a shuffle right, like you see in an MMA fight or a UFC fight. So it takes about 6 seconds for a punch and a counter punch and another punch and then maybe a deflection to happen. So that's how we handle that kind of stuff. So the movement rates then that you see on the character sheets are for the 1 minute. So if you go down and look at Vrinjar, he's a standard human. His movement rate's considered 12 inches. That's 120 feet in 1 minute. Love all this, isn't it great? So when there's no combat happening, I just move. They can just move however they want to have until something engages. So what they're doing, they're going to slide down this hallway here because there was a doorway here that they didn't do anything with earlier. Now, once they come into the hallway, remember, we've got torches that are burning here, and these hill giants are not the world's best air conditioning HVAC guys. So these torches are burning and then going up to the ceiling and causing all kinds of smoke buildup. And they've been burning most of the evening, and no one's come in and changed them. So we've got a lot of smoke buildup in this area here. And if you're a hill giant, you probably have throat cancer by now, right? So they use the smoke. These two characters are smart enough to know to use the smoke as part of the shadows. And if you think about where lighting is, and this is a computer game where the light's casting this way and light's casting this way, when they're trying to hide in shadows, they're trying to dart into areas like this. So what they're going to do is they're going to try to get up here. Now, when they get here, now I know what's back here. We got to do a move silently check for both of them, right? So Elafonissi will use, let's just do Vrinjar first since he's up on screen. So moving silently for him is 83%. I believe hers is the same. That's the 79. It's no problem for him. And I believe she's the same. Let's just double check that. She is also a move silently 83. So most of the thieving abilities between these two characters, as they're both level 10, are always the same. She just doesn't get to pickpockets or anything. And that's going to do, so there's a 92. So a 92 is kind of nasty. So a 92 is kind of like you took a step and you shuffled your step and made a little bit of a noise. So I'm going to do a little behind the scenes check here. And if I see anything higher than a 10, I'm going to change things. There's a 1, so you've watched a DM play here. You know that whatever was maybe in this room wasn't alerted by the shuffle step. So with good thieving skills, what you got to do now, when you get up to the door, what are you going to do, right? Think about listening for sound. Now here noise checks for both of these characters is 30, right? There's HN down here for her, 30, and HN for him as well. So what they're doing is being very quiet for maybe like a minute, a full round, and they're listening intently. This is Vrinjar, that's 43. And Elafonissi has very acute hearing in this situation, and she's able to listen at these heavy timber iron-bound doors, and she hears 2 hill giants, maybe 1 female, completely asleep behind this door and 1 torch burning. So she whispers that to him. He signals for her to go get the rest of the group, and he does that because she's got a fast movement rate. So she's going to still continue to move silently down the hallway, and she's going to report this information back to everyone else. Mercedes makes a decision, and Mercedes says, listen, let's go get ready to kick the door in here and barge in there and catch these guys asleep, or let the assassin and the monk slip in first, but I want to be at the door so I can block the door and do things. So Elafonissi goes right back to where she was. They notice that the door is one of these doors that you have to push in to open. So that means if anyone's going to slip in, they're going to have to slip in like this. Okay? That means you have to slide in this way. So when you're a thief and you think about those kind of things, or you're a monk, you try to position yourself so you can single file your way right in. Now, I think you need to make a check in the background. There's not a lot of noise going on, but I just like to randomly check every now and then to make sure everything's okay. So Bossy Boots, Mercedes is going to move herself all the way down to here as well. And we'll let Zollerus, as always, the two of them are the 2 fighters. They're always going to be here. their cleric, who's from Ket and Tola. The druid, Obscura, the illusionist, is going to be in the back, and the druid's going to kind of play rear guard. She hasn't used a lot of her ability so far in the adventure, so she's going to play rear guard, and she's actually going to stay about here and just peek around this corner, looking up this way. Pretty good tactical layout, right? Now they're ready to do something. So what we're going to need to do is move this door open. Now, you've seen me do this a few times before. These are real big, heavy doors. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a dexterity check for Vrinjar and Elafonissi together, slowly pushing this door open, listening to see what kind of sounds the door makes as it rolls. Now, that kind of a check is a percentile dial check normally for like bend bars and lift gates. But in this situation, I'm going to do it off of dexterity. So dexterity, I'm going to give them a D20 roll, right, which makes it a little harder, based on, but they have high dexterity, and so we've got 17 dexterity for him, and we've got 17 dexterity for her, right? So unless I roll 18 or higher, everything's okay. There's an 8, there's a 16, pretty close. So what they're able to do, these sneaky types, is they're able to push the door open large enough for them to maintain hidden shadows. And I'm going to give them both a chance to recheck this because they're entering in what I call a new lighting environment. Now remember, both their hidden shadows number is 68. So Elafonissi's a 35 and Vrinjar's a 63. So Vrinjar's taking point, but he's not truly 100% hidden in shadows, but he doesn't know this, right? So he still has to play it along that way. So he's going in first. So he's going to move into here, and he's going to move into here. The moment they slip into the room, Mercedes and Zollers are going to get right here to block the doorway. And this cleric's going to move to maintain line of sight, and Obscura's just kind of linger near this beam support here. And the druid's just going to watch this way and watch that way. So here's what we got to do. We got to switch to this next room because we're going to have a very fun sequence in here. So give me just a half moment, and I'm going to swap the map, all right? Because we don't need to go back in here anymore. So we'll just give this like 25 seconds. All right, cool. It's old school, man. Completely old school. So let's clean up the glass. We don't need all this other monkey business here. And remember, the map's always facing north for you as the player. The view you're seeing is always going to be looking north. Let's get everyone back in a position where they need to be. So we had Mercedes and Zollers in the hallway out here, and I'll redraw that in a moment. And we have the cleric is back down this way. Elafonissi and Vrinjar are in the room. And of course, he's trying to hide in shadows, and they see. We're just going to use this female fire giant because I don't have a token for female sleeping. Let's go ahead and get the other hallway kind of drawn back here on the glass so you get a sense of where this is in relation to the rest of the spaces. And be sure not to lean on the glass. That was a big boo-boo we had about a week ago. These are 10-foot wide corridors. And this is pretty much all we really need just for this. Just to see what's going on here. Cool. All right. So we're going to put Vrinjar and Tola, the cleric, here. And we're going to put the druid over here. You probably won't see her on the camera because she's off screen, and put obscura there. So remember, someone didn't quite make their hide and shadows check. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll for initiative here. The female and for this group, both of them together, which is a husband and wife sub-chief team. Okay, they've retired early. There's something else going on. There's a big party or feast going on. They've come to bed. They're a little drunk. They went to sleep, rolled around the hay a little bit. Who knows? Let's give them a check to see as if they are alerted to the fact that there is a tiger nomad assassin with full gear and 2 black axes standing right on top of him trying to be sneaky. So if I roll let's give it a 50% chance. In fact, we don't even need to do it. If you did a 3 on this time, just 9 or less. All right, let's put it that way. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. So basically, they both go like, huh? And I wake up. So the moment that happens, we're going to just roll for a regular initiative because they've woken up. They've now detected the fact that he's standing right on top of them, but they're still kind of stunned because you know it's like when you wake up, you're like, what? That's going to roll for initiative for Elafonissi and these 2 here. So this is the party's roll. Let's see what they got. Okay. So we got a 6 and a 4 is 10. And this is the Giants. They're going to beat them on this one. So they're very, very alert. For whatever reason, they are not really surprised here. So with that being said, the first thing she's going to do is grab her husband and try to get him to, he's going to wake up and try to move over her and land her, and she's going to try to scramble out of the bed and disengage to get over to here to get to a weapon. But he is just going to put his life on the line, lay in a bed, probably wearing no armor, nothing obviously, let's hope not, and just get right there and try to grab Varinjar and take him off guard. So while he's making that move, Elafonissi is going to try to take a single step and move to here. So what do we got here? We've got these guys prepared ahead of time. Let's open our cool Magic DM book that's got all the goodies in it behind the scenes. So we are talking to 8 hit dice hill giants with a lot more health than normally. And they only need a THAC0 of 13, which is, of course, is a 2nd edition roll. And so they just need 13 to hit AC 0. Okay? So the first thing he's going to do, I don't use the typical rules for grappling. Everyone knows grappling is a big point of contention in the game, and it's been changed in Pathfinder and everything else. Here's what I do. I do a roll to hit, and I take away 5. So Varinjar is -2. That means he needs a 15, and I'm going to take away 5. So to grab Varinjar by the shoulders, to take him and toss him to the side like a football player would, he needs a 10 or higher. All right? Actually, that's the wrong way. That's the wrong way. He needs to hit AC 0, he needs a 13. We take 2 away and give him an 11. Then we add 5, so he needs 16. So 16 and higher, a 13. So he's made an attempt to grab him and trying to grab him, but the assassin's kind of wily and has moved away. So he has to actually spend his entire rest of this failed initiative to make sure he's not grabbed and maybe take a step back, which pulls him forward. So she gets a chance. She's going to grab a weapon off the wall. The closest thing on the wall is just a spear. So she's grabbed a spear, and now she's going to look and see her husband trying to grab the assassin, and sees that this like young monk little girl is here. And over their shoulders, she can see that Mercedes taking a step in, and Zalash is hot on her heels. Mercedes is going to push the door all the way open, and when she does that, the monk goes, holy crap, get out of the way here. She kicks the door and pushes the door all the way open. The monk's going to take another single step, and then she's going to decide to engage this monk she's line of sight. She's going to beeline it to this. She thinks that this is a smart thing to do, that she can pull this off without engaging in too much danger. So with the spear, she's just going to charge, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to give her a chance to do initiative against her, and they'll face off. So let's go for the roll for the female giant. Remember, she's not a fire giant. It's just a token I'll have, okay? Oh, that's a great roll. Wow, what is that? 11 plus 5? Plus 4 is 15. And what does Elafonissi come up with? You know, Elafonissi does get a reaction adjustment because of her dexterity. So it's 2. So we're going to add 2 this 5, 6. Well, that's 10, 11 plus 2 is 13. So she doesn't win. So what's going to happen? They're going to meet in the middle. Okay? And then the fire giant female, the sub-chief's wife technically, is going to get a free swap at her. Poor Elafonissi doesn't have the greatest armor in the world, but if she can get a stun off, she'll be able to kill this lady. So one thing she hasn't been able to do in the campaign so far is get a good stun off on anyone. So she's going to really try to focus on that and disengage a little earlier. So the female needs to hit AC 0, she needs a 12. Nothing else is modified. So we're going to use a diabolical black roll 20 for her, right? Where's our black one at? I can't put my hands on it. There is our purple. Here's a black one. Let's just use this dark blue one, okay? This is a 12. Get a 12, and this is a hit. A 1. Oh, I love these, because it always gives the DM a chance to talk about how horrible everything went. So she takes the spear. She's totally excited, and she's doing this massive polearm type thrust lunge and completely misses. And I'm going to roll a dex check with, let's say she has a 10 dexterity with 3d6. If she rolls 10 dexterity or less, all right, she maintains her balance. All right, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, she does not maintain her balance, and she stumbles and slams into this vanity. So over here is this big vanity with a stool, so the stool slides out of the way. She got a stool lying on the ground now. Bam! All the stink perfume and the crappy combs and everything else all shattered up against the window. And Elafonissi is a 24 movement right. So the first thing Elafonissi is going to do, she's going to leap up onto the bed and then swing around over here and start to engage her because she's on the ground. Mercedes sees this as her opportunity to come in here and take that two-handed sword of hers and just splatter her in half. Now, we try to grapple check, my form of a grapple check of him versus her. So let's get a little closer to the action here so you can really start getting into it, right? There we go. Now it's looking brutal. Now it's looking brutal. Let's just adjust this camera for you so you can have a better view. This just take me a second. I'm going to pull this down. There we go. Let's make this a little bit better. There we go. We'll pull this down to here. I won't do this too much. Let's do it every now and then, give you a better sense of what's happening. All right, great. Now you can kind of see the people in the hallway and you see a better view. So Vrinjar gets an attack on this guy, and then we'll roll for initiative, and then Mercedes going to attack on her, and Elafonissi has not decided what to do, and she's done some movement. She evaded a stabbing lunge, lost initiative, and she used the rest of the disadvantage of this one flub by the sub-chief's wife to jump on the bed and then decide whether she's going to go for a quivering palm or bash this guy in the back of the head. So, Vrinjar. Armor class, these guys, I'm only going to call them a 7, okay? I know that sounds generous, but they're in bed. They're not wearing any armor, so it's just his natural type of dexterity. To hit AC 0, he needs a 12, okay? So just take 7 away from that means 5. So we got a main hand and an offhand. The main hand for dual wielding is -2. So we'll take the red one and take 2 from it. That's still a good solid hit. That's a 13. And a 7, the offhand doesn't get the penalty. Did the 7 hit? Let's see. 12 minus the 7 is a 5. That's a 7. Okay, so it's 2 good solid hits. And his damage on his axes are 1 to 8 plus 6 for these larger classes here, larger size enemies. So let's just do 2 of those at once, right? Let's do them at the same time. Each one of these is going to get 6 added to it, okay? So that's 4, and 6 is 10. 8 and 6 is 14. So 10 and 14 is 24. Let's just pull out our cool DM book and see how much nastiness. Let's let you see behind the scenes a little bit tonight, my chicken scratches, right? So there are our sub-chief. Where do we have his number at? Let's just verify that real quick. I got it right over here for you. Right over here. Yep. He's 50. So 50 minus 24. That's going to put him down to 26. All right. So this is our sub-chief. So he's damaged. Wife hasn't been hit. They were asleep. Okay, let's start wiping some people out here, right? Having fun yet? Cool. Mercedes gets her whack on the female. She stands up. She regains her balance. She's got the spear. She's fallen that way anyway. So all she's got to do is turn up and face Mercedes. But Mercedes is going to get that first free swing at her. So remember, Mercedes uses a two-handed sword. And her to hit AC 0, she needs a 6. Only a 1 will miss. Okay? Only a 1 will miss. So that's an easy hit with a 5. And her damage against large enemies is 3d6 plus 5. So 3d6, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 7 and 6, 13. And that's pretty nasty. Let's just double check that in our cool book here. What do we got for help for her? 29, 13. 29 minus 13. What's that, kids? Someone now, come on, give me some math. What's that? Let's just write it down. 29 minus 13, 6, 1, 1, 16. 16 health left. Easy enough. That's a pretty nasty hit. That's half her life. So I'm going to give her like a kind of like, ow, half your life is hit in one hit. And then they're going to roll for initiative for these two. Let's do it while we got them both focused with each other. So we're going to give the subgiant chief's wife, right? So she's got, that's a 12. And Mercedes, who gets no bonus, is a lower initiative. Sub-chief wife gets to attack back. We're going to do the one more round of that, one little quick segment of that, to see whether she can hit her with the spear. To hit AC 0, she needs 12. Mercedes at -2, so we need to add 2 to that. So she needs a 14 or higher to hit Mercedes. 14 even. This is going to land a hit on her, and I'm going to give the spear damage from the female is a 2d8. Okay. Here we go. This is fire. This is not fire giant, but the sub-chief's damage 2d8. 7 and 4 is 11. So we're going to jot that down over here. So she is a 132 fighter. Minus 11. So she's still doing pretty good. This is going to be 1 and 2, 121. Okay, so Mercedes at 121. I'm going to jot that on a separate sheet over here to the side so I keep track of it. I don't think it's going to go awry for her. 121 for Merc. All right. Vrenjar, sub-chief. Now, imagine you're him, right? You just saw your wife come charge around the corner, probably yelling at the top of her lungs, grabbed a spear off the wall, like, yeah, go get him. And you know your wife's not a warrior like you. And she flubs it and slams into the vanity, and she got this fully armored woman with a two-handed sword. You're going to change targets and immediately try to get on her flank. And Mercedes just did a big nasty swing, but she didn't flub it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him a one-step swing, but I'm going to let Vrenjar do a disengaging. They call it attack of opportunity in later rules. So I'm going to give Vrenjar 2 free swings at this guy as he tries to disengage. So let's just go back to him real quick because I want you to be able to see the numbers and think about it ahead of time. All right, so to hit AC 0, he needs a 12. So it would take 7 away from that. It only needs 5. So the main hand's -2. That's a 6. That's still a hit. And offhand is 16. That's a hit. And the damage for him, once again, is 1d8 plus 6. Let's do that twice. Okay, this is an 8, and this is an 8. So that's 16 more damage done to our chief. This is where the numbers are going to start. He's going to get lower and lower. Okay, what was that? Is 8 times 2 is 16. Ooh, this guy's down to 10 health. 10 health is nasty business for him. 10 health. 10 health. Let's get him his swing, though, okay? He's going to get his swing at Mercedes. Her armor class is -2. To hit AC 0, he needs a 13, so he needs a 15 to hit her. A 5. So he doesn't have any weapons. I'm going to let him swing again because he's going to punch at her, okay? At 18. So he's able to land a left hook on her, right? So with something like that, that's a left hook, pretty strong hit. For not a fire giant, but for a big hill giant like him, who's angry and motivated, I would normally just do this like a 1d8 roll, but I'm actually going to cause this to be, it's not a 20, but that's a good and solid hit on her from her flank on her left side. When she's right-handed, she can't turn and get that two-handed sword up. I'm going to be mean and give 2d8 damage on that hit, okay? So 4 and 5. I'm not going to get any additional bonus to that. That's 9. So Mercedes was at 121 minus 9. That puts this down to what? 111? Is that right? 111 would be 9. 112. So Mercedes down to 112. So we're just going to put this here, right here for you, right? She's at 112. It was not a big deal, but she's got to take care of that later. Mercedes, Elafonissi has not done anything. I'm going to give Elafonissi a chance to leap in from behind, seeing how damaged he is, and hit him from behind. And she's going to do 2 open hand attacks on him. Remember, if a monk can score 5 higher than what they need, the target is stunned. And remember, there's a percentage chance that when a target is stunned, that they flat out die based upon an armor class check. So let's go back to Ella and see what she's got. Elafonissi elite to hit AC 0. She only needs a 14 because she's just kind of using it with open hand. We're going to take 7 away from that because he's like flat-footed and AC 7. I'm going to give her a bonus of 2 because the guy's from behind and not actively defending, and he's unarmed. It doesn't have anything else. So 5 or higher, and each hand will hit. Main hand 18, offhand 11. That's 2 hits with each hand. The damage is 3 to 13. So it's basically a D10 One of those numbers was high enough for a stun. So this is going to be 2d10. Each one's going to get +3. Okay? So a 5. That's not a very good hit there. 5 and a 3. +3, so that's 4. 4 and a 5 is 9. The guy has 1 health left. He's going to be stunned for 1 to 6 rounds, which in my game is 1 to 6. That's 18 seconds. For 24 seconds of stun, he got hit in the back of the head. He's like, ugh. I'm just going to go. He's just wiped out. The two of them are just going to go, bam. This guy's stunned. He's just one-shotted and dead. So, seeing her husband get hit from behind, now she sees it like, oh my goodness, I've hit the woman. I have to just try to disengage and defend. So she's just going to try to parry him back away and maybe try to raise the alarm. So because this is so nasty, the monk has the best chance of actually getting there and doing something about it. Mercedes is going to take a step forward and swing. Vrinjar is going to step over the corpse because he wasn't actually actively attacking. And the monk is going to, Elafonissi is going to be able to get there quicker and jump right on her, just leap on her, right? But we got to be fair. I'm going to give this initiative roll for everyone because it's kind of like a clean reset, okay? So what does the female sub-chief, the sub-chief's wife, get? 6, 7, 12, 13. What does Elafonissi get? Let's just give the three of them initiative roll. What do they get? 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, no. She's going to yell at the top of her lungs. Yell at the top of her lungs and continue to back away and continue to try to defend. She's just going to actively defend. I'm going to give her like a +4 to her armor class because she's actively defending. So they're all going to get a free chance to hit at her, but they just have a higher armor class to target and hit now, so +4. So the +4 gives her an AC of 3, right? So we'll just go ahead and start with Mercedes. So Mercedes, actually, excuse me, let's start with the monk because she only needs to hit AC 0, 14, a natural 14. This is, let's give it 3, take away 3, she needs an 11. Main hand of 7, that's a miss. Offhand 12, that's a hit, so the offhand hits. And I believe, as I said before, it's a 1d10 +3. 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. That's almost got her dead. Let's give Vrinjar his main hand an offhand attack. Main hand 17, even though it's a -2, that's an easy hit. And 18, and his damage is going to be brutal. So she's going to be wiped out. I'm not even going to roll the damage. She's dead on the spot. So she did get a yell out. Let me do a really nasty DM check in the background. Because how far did that sound carry? Gosh, these guys are lucky on the noise. Okay, I'm not going to tell them that. And if you were sitting at the table with me, I'd just make a funny facial expression and bluff you a little bit. So, Zolaris has just been maintaining the guard. The rest of the group is going to move down to here. They're going to, the Vrinjar is going to go ahead and slit throats, make sure no one gurgles and kills and makes any noise. Elafonissi and Vrinjar, they just are not motivated by loot and treasure. They take a cursory look around the room to see if there's anything of interest. So, you know, this room just has a number of things. There's an end table here. There's like a desk with a few written type of scribed notes here. Elafonissi is going to grab those and and pilfer through them real quickly and see what they've been written about. The big bear skin on the wall. Vrinjar is going to go over here and look behind this, make sure there's not check for secret doors. I would let the player roll at this point, right? And the player can roll, and I would say, no, you don't find anything. In this situation, to keep the ball rolling for you, there's nothing secretly there. We've got Mercedes damaged. She's just going to disengage from the fight and move back out to the hallway, and Antola's going to get a heal off on her. So let's get that going right away. Let's do that real quick. So I think we've got a number of spells memorized. We're just going to go ahead and do a Cure Serious Wounds on her. I do a Cure Serious Wounds as 3d8. Okay? And I'm going to give him a Wisdom bonus as well. So I like the player to roll his own heals. So we'll just give her a 3d8. A 1, 1, and a 4. Okay. So what we're going to do out here is he's going to continue to blow spells until she's completely healed. And then he's going to say, listen, I'm going to save heal for later. Do you want me to try to pray and get the spells back? And she's like, I don't know. We'll talk about it. Zolaris is going to come in the room to have a quick discussion. She says she thinks she's found something written. He's going to move over here and check this trunk. He rifles and looks through the trunk and finds a bunch of gems and other pieces of jewelry, but he's not really into it. There's a golden hairpin and some pearls. They're just totally not into this stuff. There's lots of coins, silver pieces, copper pieces in the chest. But for them, their mission is to save this child. Their mission is not to come loot stuff. These are experienced, legendary players. Okay, unless there's a magic item or something that appears to be magical, they're not motivated to grab a bunch of coins and walk around, especially when they're in stealth mode. But Elafonissi finds something. So she talks to Varinjar, and then Zollars comes over, and I'm going to give all three of them a D20 check against their intelligence to see if they can figure out what it is. They may not be able to read it, but they'll be able to say, hey, that looks like that's written in XX language. So this is for Zollars. No, 20 has absolutely no idea. In fact, I don't know what it is. He's just going to go back out here. Make sure that Mercedes okay. For Varinjar, let's give him a chance to figure this out as well. He's got a 14 intelligence, a natural 20, so that's too high. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to roll their intelligence a lower. We're not trying to roll a hit here. And Elafonissi is 13, and her intelligence is 12, so she can't quite figure it out either, but she's going to take the piece of paper with her. There's a bundle of paper and rags together, and it's got a bunch of chicken scratching on it. Probably looks like my DM book, right? You're like, what's all that mean? And then so she's going to take that with her, and that's the only thing they've gleaned from the room. So they're going to head on out of this room and rejoin in a corridor, and we're going to switch maps again. So let's get this out of the way and get back to the hallway. And this won't take too long. Let's get everyone out of the hallway. Now, as they leave the hallway, what they're going to do is they're going to close this door back. They're not really going to mess with the corpses and move them around or anything. They leave them laying on the ground there. They're kind of anxious to get the ball rolling. So let's go ahead and clear this off. And I'll be right back with a map switch. Okay, let me do a quick camera adjustment for you so you can see good. Oops, move the mic down so you can hear me better. And we're going to pull this out. So we're in the torchlit hallway again, right? And we're just going to slide this up here a little bit better so you can see better. And you may remember last time, so let's put everyone back on the scene. So Mercedes damaged, and I got that noted to the side. She's not full health. She doesn't want Untold to blow all his spells. The druid's down here watching. Here's our illusionist, Obscura. These three are securing the door closed, and they're taking a chance at leaving the body here. Now, if you remember last episode, there was a big rough and tumble fight in this room. Go see the previous episode 3 if you want to see what happened with that one. But after they've all kind of reconvened and decided what to do, they're all going to go back down this way is the plan. So they're going to go down here, and everyone's going to switch places and get their movement order back the way they want it to be. Where Mercedes is going to be up here in the front and have the druid slip back here. And they're going to work their way down this area, and then actually Mercedes is going to stop here. The druid's going to come forward a little bit. We're going to have Obscura wait here. The cleric's going to be here. We're going to put Zollars here, and we're going to put Varinjar and Elafonissi hiding in shadows here. So once again, remember, torches and smoke, but this time the smoke's all being pulled down the hallway that way, right? And there was a nasty battle in here, lots of blood and guts. Go check that out in the previous episode if you're interested in seeing that one. And I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit more. We're going to switch maps here quick because we're not going to be here very long. So we're going to do a quick little hide and shadows check for the monk and the assassin, which is 68, as I remember correctly. Let's just do them with one side of dice. So there's a 30, that's perfect. And an 88. The 88 we'll do as Elafonissi. Elafonissi thinks she's obscure, but she's not. Coming up to the door, she's right behind him. He's going to listen to the door. Let's just do a hear noise check, which is only 30% for him. That's an easy, ooh, that's a 100. Wow, I haven't seen that roll in a long time. He just can't tell anything what's happening. He moves back around this way. Do a move silently check for him. A 61. What's his move silently number? No, that could be nasty. Hang on, hang on, hang on. What do we got here? What do we got for him? Move silently. MS 83. Okay, he's okay. So he moves silently to allow her to come to the door and take a listen. Only a 30% chance to distinguish what it is. 86. So she can't tell what it is. But what they can tell is there's female voices behind this door. But they can't tell how many or what age they are. They pretty much can assume that this stage is going to be hill giants. So in this situation, Zolaris and Mercedes say, listen, let's just push the door in. You two rogue types push the door in slowly, because it looks like this door is going to swing in this way. Okay? Push the door open quietly while hiding in shadows, but don't let yourself be seen. And then once the door is open, then we're just going to rush in the room and just attack whatever's there. Now Sierra's like, oh goodness, I haven't had a chance to do anything yet, but when I do, it's going to be nasty. She is saving her staff. In case you've forgotten about our illusionist, who hasn't been doing much. If you haven't played an illusionist before, these things are very, 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 very nasty. Phantasmal Killer, Paralyzation, Spectral Force, Hypnotic Pattern. Her Staff of the Storms is an artifact item, so she can cast Ice Storm. It's a big area effect, 5d10 type of damage. She saves that stuff. She will use illusions and things to get them out of jail free. The Druid's not really too concerned with this. The Druid's just going to stay here in the middle, and the Cleric's just going to stay back here, Zentola. So we're going to push the door open. We're going to do that dex check that we like to do, right? Remember the dex check that we do? We're going to do this time. So if they roll their dexterity or less, they're able to open the door while maintaining their concealment. But remember, Elafonissi isn't hidden in shadows. Okay, so he does a 16. She does a 6. So their dexterity on his is, both their dexterities, he's a 14. And she's a 12. So that's them pushing the door open and trying not to make noise, but it does make noise. So what's on the inside is like, huh? What the devil is that? So everyone's completely alerted. There's no surprise. They're going to have to either jump in the room or dive into the hallway. Now, I don't want to do this for too complicated for too long, but we got to switch maps, okay? And we'll be in this next room for a little bit longer. That's one thing about the transitional hallways that can be tricky. So hang tight, and I'll be right back with another map. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Let's get this cleaned up real quick. All right. Where is everybody? So, the door is open. Vrinjar, Elafonissi push the door open. Vrinjar decides to slip in. Elafonissi decides to disengage. Zolaris and Mercedes both rush in, weapons ready. Mercedes rushes here. Zolaris rushes here. The assassin's going to slip over here. So now we've got a frontline, 3-line assault type thing happening. We've got our druid back here, and we've got our cleric back here, and obscura back in the back. You may not be able to see them on camera. You can see them a little bit. And remember, this is a hallway here. Don't lean on the glass, because it broke last time I did this. All right, so what's in the room? Well, I just so happen to have some more hill giants in here. I've got, remember, these are women. These are female hill giants. And we're going to pull this camera in a little bit closer for you in a minute. So you got 4 female hill giants, and they're all sitting in chairs, playing cards and drinking. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And one of them's right here, sitting here. I'm going to turn all their tokens so you can see their facial expressions. So we got one old lady one. She got a big, heavy, gnarled cane. And the other ones are unarmed. Now, there's weapons nearby. The other one's just sitting there drinking at the table. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. They're not running around with a sword in their hand or a big, heavy axe or anything. The door opens. They all look. They see you. You see them. They push their chairs out of the way, push a chair out of the way, push a chair out of the way. Now we're going to roll for initiative. Now it's going to get fun. So what I like to do in this situation, because there's a degree of separation between these two and these two, I'll do an overall party initiative for them and an overall party initiative just for these 3. Because there's enough distance for one of these, for these to move closer to the battle to join the group. All right? So let's just do that real quick. This is the black dice always going to be for the baddies. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And let's see if our intrepid group of flubbers 8, 9, 10. So 10 versus 11. Boy, that's tight. So the women win. So the female old crone hill giant takes her handicapped accessible gnarled cane and rushes forward yelling, "Go get the rest of the guards!" So she's like yelling out to the other ones, and she's just taking a big wild sweeping swing at all three of them at once to see if they can hit them. Now, the way I like to handle that is I'm just going to roll to hit on the person in the middle, and then this character here and this character here, they'll just like easily just dodge back if they have good dexterity. Okay, so basically you've got the old lady hill giant trying to hit Zolaris. Let's put him up here. So Zolaris is -1 AC, and they only need, let's see here. Here we go. To hit AC 0, she needs a 12. So 12 plus 1, 13 or higher. Okay? A 3. So that's not a drop the ball type thing. So she swings her big crazy cane, and that gives Vringer a chance. He's just going to go ahead and move back over here. And he's going to do that to wait. So now Zolaris gets to attack, and Mercedes gets to attack. But this female here is going to come in here with her bare fist, and we're going to do one of these grab checks again that I like to do, which I add 5 to it. So let's just get Mercedes armor class back up one more time. So this is -2. So to hit -2, she needs a 14, and then add 2, she needs a 16. She'd have to roll a natural 20 to grab her, but she doesn't know that. That's a natural 10. So she's trying to grab Mercedes, but Mercedes is able to like shrug that off with like a Philly defense boxing style, and then just go in there with a two-handed sword and go wham and swing it at the old crone in the middle. So this old crone is armor class 7. So Mercedes only needs a 6. So Mercedes can only miss with a 1. Okay, so that's an easy hit for her. Let's get this out of the way. And that's going to be 3d6 plus 5. We'll put those 3 6s back up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus 5, 17. 17 damage onto the old lady. Let's go ahead and note that here. She has 34 health. So 34 minus 17 is another 17. It's 50-50. Half her life taken away one two-handed sword swing. Now it's Zolaris' chance with his glaive. He's just going to do a straightforward thrust. That's the best way to not do a swing move and hit your partner. I think it's really important for players to talk about their melee attacks in a way that makes sense. If you say, I just do an overhand baseball swing with my glaive, well, if you miss, you might hit Mercedes in the face with it. So what does Zolaris need to hit this old crone? So he only needs a 6. So once again, just like Mercedes, if I just roll, only a 1 will miss. Okay? There's a 2, but he still doesn't miss. So his damage to those targets is 1d10 plus 10, and then there's also a fire damage element to his attacks too, because his glaive is a burning glaive. So let's just give him a 1d10. That's a 5. Plus 1 is a 6, plus a 1d8. We got one of those right here. Well, that's only a 1. So what do we got? 6 plus 1, 7. That puts her down to 10 health. All right. Now, we all know what's going to happen now, right? So he's actually going to disengage further. And what I want to do now is I want to give everyone over here a chance to react and do something. What he's trying to do is blend into the shadows. So in this room, what do we actually have that's even possible? We have these lanterns hanging on the wall. And this one's burned out, so it's just smoldering smoke. This one's still illuminated. So we've still got this like bullseye lantern glow happening here. There's a torch still kind of smoldering and burning over here. And torch burning on the wall over here, right where they're sitting at their table playing cards. So they need enough light to play cards. You put little cards all over the table here, scattered everywhere, the money on the ground. So he's just going to try to hide in shadows. I'm going to give him a minus 20% chance to hide in shadows without being noticed because of what he's doing it right in front of them. But there's a big melee going on. They're seeing their old leader, the old crones getting attacked, and they're engaging this girl in plate mail, and this other guy with a burning glaive is kind of like, whoa, what's going on? I'm so disoriented. So let's give him that hide in shadows roll. So we just check him. Let's pull up his sheet so you can see what he needs and start imagining how this is going to play out. So hide in shadows for him is 68%. Did I say 20? Did I say 20%? Make it 20% more difficult. So he needs a 48 or less to do this. 41. All right, cool. So he's basically just virtually just vanishes into the shadows. So he's going to do that on purpose so he can just go 1, 2, 3, 4 and move to about here. And he's going to pop into anyone that comes rushing this way. So they just see the assassin just blend away almost magically. Like, where did he go? He's disappeared. So this female hill giant here is just going to rush forward through the smoke with her big She doesn't have a weapon at all, right? She hasn't grabbed a weapon. Oh, we got to take care of that. She would actually waste her turn grabbing a weapon from back over here. They would set their weapons against a wall naturally. It wouldn't lead them in a chest or anything. This woman here is just going to rush forward to try to somehow grab or push the enemy out of the way. This woman here try to grab check on Mercedes. She's going to just try to push Mercedes out of the way. They're trying to save the old lady. So a push attack to me, I'm going to give it a -2 chance to hit. It'll make you take 2 steps. So these old ladies need to hit a 14 to hit AC 0, so they need a 16, and that's nowhere near it. So the push attack, this hill giant female, totally ineffective. Mercedes going to take a 1 step over this way, and Zala's going to take a 1 step over this way, and that's on purpose. It's a blow someone up time, right? So main hand, off hand. So for our assassin, what does he need to hit AC 0? He needs a 12. This is AC 7. It only needs a 5. It's also from behind. I'll give it a bonus of 2. So this is the main hand. You take 2 away from that. That's a 2. That's a miss, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Let's do the math again because I'm going kind of fast. So AC 7. So he's got a 12 to hit AC 0. So take away 7 gives you 5. I said a bonus of 2 needs a 3. Isn't that what I said? Yep, that's what I said. So the 4 does hit. The main hand, but there's also, this is -2, so it's only a 2. So the main hand misses. The offhand hits. There we go. Just want to be fair because sometimes I get going so quickly I may flub the math numbers up. And the damage on her is quadrupled. It's a backstab damage. So it's 1d8. 1d8, 6. Plus 6 is 12. Quadrupled. That is 1 dead, splattered hill giant. But he's no longer hiding in shadows. This woman here has grabbed her club, turns around, and is like, oh goodness, this isn't going very good at all. Zala's turn. Right? So Zala's is going to just easily hit without anything less than a 1 is going to hit her. This splatters her. She's dead. I'm going to give Mercedes a chance to attack her. Remember, if she rolls a 1, she's still going to hit. As she rolls anything but a 1, she's going to hit. Excuse me. And let's just check Mercedes' damage. 3d6 plus 5. That's nasty on a large target. 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 5 is 13. 13 damage on someone who hasn't been damaged. That has 23. That means 10 health left. 10 health left and you're surrounded. Doesn't sound like it's going to go too good for you. Since this guy since Vrenjar just dispatched an enemy and he's behind, he's going to take a 1 step here on the table and try to pop this one from behind. So that's going to be pretty nasty. Main hand, -2. That's a hit. And a 1, a complete, absolute offhand, just flub miss. That'll put him out of position and flub the carry over the weight, but it's going to be quad damage with the first hand hit. So his damage again is 1d8. We'll get to a point where I have this stuff memorized, but I want you to be able to see it because it's fun to follow along, I think. 1d8 plus 8, that's 10 times 4 is 40. That's dead, splattered. So Mercedes can step around, ready to stop this one. And if you're in this situation and you're one of these hill giant females, you're like paralyzed with fear at this point. You're like, oh my god, what just happened? In less than 12 seconds, everyone in the room is dead except for me. And I just grabbed my club just in time to turn around and see this. So when this situation happens, Zala's is just going to step back to the door. Elafonissi is just going to make sure to take a step here. She's going to take a step here. Everyone's peeking into the door because they hear the melee. She's going to drop her club on the ground and hold it up in the air if she fails a morale check. So here's how I want to do a morale check for her. It's actually like a saving throw, but in reverse. So anything greater than a 5 on the T20, she's going to fight to the death. Anything less than a 5 or less, she's going to surrender. Okay, she's going to fight to the death. So she's going to take the club and go roar, run forward. So in this situation, since we're closing distances, we need to roll for initiative here. So who actually is going to get the first swing once everyone gets in range of each other? So let's give this female hill giant number 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's give 1 roll for initiative for Mercedes and Vrenjar together. 6, 10, that's 15. Easy initiative battle. They get to go first. Vrenjar knows better than to compete with a two-handed sword. He's going to take a 1 step over here, and she's going to go ahead and take a swipe. Remember, anything except for a 1 will hit. So she nails this hill giant in the face. Not going well for you guys. Should have had armor on. That's one good thing about attacking places when they're sleeping. They don't have any gear on.
So it's 3d6. So that's 6 and 4. That's 10. And there's a bonus of +5. So 15 damage. That doesn't... Does that kill her? Yep. Does that kill her? Yep. No, no, doesn't kill her. No, she's got another 7 health left. Sorry. Math problem. That was the other one that got killed. All right. She's really damaged. That's an opportunity for him to take a step over here and just go ahead and eviscerate her. So he's going to do this with a little bit of finesse. He's going to go ahead and do this with a -4 roll in the main hand. And okay, that's great. And okay. So I'm not even going to describe to you what happened. I would let the player tell me. So what do you actually do this thing? So in this situation, like the first hex, the right hand of the axe hits the hill giant in the stomach. The left hand of the axe hits the hill giant in the back of the spine, and then you twist them and guts them, pulls them out, and all our entrails just fly on the ground and splatter everywhere. Pretty nasty, like being like that scene from the Vikings where they butterfly that guy's chest. So that's what you do for a living when you're an assassin. And you also make sure not to get Miss Commander Girl splatter with blood because she might complain about that. Boom. Pretty quiet. In the beginning of the fight, though, if you remember, someone made noise. She yelled something. Okay? I'm going to do a check behind the scenes. I don't want you to know about it. If you're watching the table, you would know I'm checking something. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, these guys are in trouble now. Oh, my goodness. This door opens here. It's not really a secret door. It's a door. This door gets pushed open. It's like, what's going on? And these huge stone giants with massive, huge two-handed warhammers are trying to run past each other into the hallway because they heard the old woman, old crone. Maybe they don't like her. Maybe they know who she is. And Elafonissi's sitting there when the door opens, and she's like, oh, my goodness, what are we going to do? And the druid sees it, and the cleric sees it, and Obscura sees this in the back. So Elafonissi is like, okay. Zalaris hears this. The druid hears this. The cleric, the first thing he's going to do is, well, what we need to do, be fair, is to see if anyone's surprised. Okay? So we're going to just do a 3d6 high number win situation. Party on my left hand, baddies in my right hand. Or should we switch sides? Let's switch sides. This is the baddies. This is the goodies. Who's surprised? What do you think's going to happen? Stone giants are nasty. Stone giant 6 and a 4. It's 10. A 10. Oh, it's a tie. So everyone's kind of like, what's going on? And the druid's like, yeah, this is what's going on. And the monk's like, okay, I'm going to take a step forward. Oh, my goodness, she's the one that gets nailed so much. She's going to take a step forward and get ready to do something, right? The druid's going to actually pull out something out of the thin air here. So let's get our druid to get a spell. I think a situation like this, if I was playing the druid, I'd be like looking at my spell sheet going, okay, what can I do? 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 Animal summoning wild horses. That sounds good. So what I like to do is add a little personality and storyline and flair to some of the spells. Like in the basic book, like animal summoning, you cast a spell and, oh, you summon a bunch of bears and they just run around and attack for you. Because she's from the Tiger Nomads and their whole religion and everything about them is, let's just go back to our little lore part here. We'll talk about Ket a little bit, right? Let's go talk about the Tiger Nomads. So, series of steppe-roaming horsemen and tribes bound under a singular mythos based on the order of the world, animals, and the power of individual prowess, right? Nomadic people have tan, deep reddish colors from sun exposure and the glare of endless overcast skies. So what I did, I tried to give some personality to each one of these characters, like you would if you made the character yourself. So her animal summoning, which is level 4, summons wild horses that are 4 hit dice each, and it does 1 for every 2 levels. So she's level 10, so she can summon 5 wild horses to appear in front of her within 30 feet. So we've got, let's do the distance check. So you got 10, 20, 30. And she knows Elafonissi's right there. So these are just siblings. They've done this move together before. She can say a phrase to Elafonissi, and Elafonissi can get out of the way. That just means she's got to get the cast off in time for the first stone giant to get here. Because the surprise roll was a tie, I think everyone's going to be like, whoa, and stopped in place. And the druid's going to start casting this 1 segment spell, right? Because all spell casting from my table is 1 segment. None of this 3-minute, 2-turn crap, unless you're channeling something. So what would be the best way to keep this fair? This is a 24 movement rate character. 1, 2, 3. 1 for the cleric. 1 for Zalaris. There's a druid in the front, starts winding up this magical summoning, saying some words. Let's be fair. We're going to roll for initiative, okay? I'm going to roll for initiative for the stone giants.
Oh, that's really great. Oh my goodness. 17. This spell may get flubbed. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so he's able to go, what are you doing casting a spell? He's going to run forward and going to take a swing at her while she's getting ready to cast a spell. If he misses, right, the spell will still go off, and these magical summoned horses will come stampeding down the hallway, and that's what she wants them to do. She doesn't want to summon horses and have them trippy-trot back and forth and show them their horseshoes. She's using this offensively as a spell, almost as if it's a magical... There's a spell actually in Diablo 3, if you ever played that, that does the same kind of thing. I think it's a Witch Doctor spell, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Or it could be a Crusader one. I can't remember. Anyway, let's do a roll to hit. So these Stone Giant guys, they're pretty nasty, okay? They only need a 12 to hit. They're hit dice 9. They only need a 12 to hit AC 0. So the Druid is staying there AC 0, but she's flat-footed, okay? So flat-footed means she gets no dexterity bonus, but she doesn't have, you look at her sheet here, level 10 Druid, she doesn't really have a dex bonus to her. You see she's a, no bonus to her, but she's using a shield. And because she's casting a spell and her scimitar is in the sheet, I want to add 2 to her armor class. So her armor class is really 2. So if they only need a 12 to hit her, that means they only need a 10. So he only needs a 10 to use his two-handed hammer and hit her. And if he hits her, I'm going to say it interrupts the spell. She can't finish casting it. So a 10, moment of truth. If you're a caster, this stuff is intense. A 1. Oh, man. You're so lucky. So I always like to create these situations. So imagine this dude coming running down the hallway, and she starts casting the spell, and he's got the big, heavy, two-handed warhammer, and he does this big, massive overhead swing, thinking he's just going to splatter this crazy-looking, wild-dressed druid with all her tribal stuff and her antlers, and he completely misses her, and she just continues casting, kind of leans to the right, and leans back forward again, and he slams the hammer down on the ground. It vibrates so much, he almost loses control of the hammer, and is almost off balance and stumbles. So she could complete her spell cast, which summons 5 wild warhorses that will stampede down the hallway. Now, the way I like to handle that is each one of those warhorses is going to get 2 rolls to hit, okay, against the armor class, and if they hit, it's going to be a 1d6 damage per hit. So there's 5 of them, okay? So 5 rolls to hit times 2. So to keep this from being a dice rolling convention, here's how I'm going to handle this. I'm going to do 2 rolls to hit, and if those 2 rolls to hit, they just take care of the first guy, and then I'll do 2 rolls to hit here and 2 rolls to hit here, and I'll just combine all the damage together, because no reason to roll 75 20-sided dice. So to hit AC 0 on a magical spell with a hit dice 4, let me just pull up my DM screen here. This will take me a moment. Hit dice 4. I can just let you see it here. I'll put it on the screen so you can see it. You got to pull this up here, right? So to hit dice 4, what do you need? What do you need? These guys are armor class. What's the armor class on our Stone Giants? 0. Ooh, heavily armored, wearing ring-mailed jackets. So these wild horses need a natural 16, okay? A natural 16 to hit them. We're going to do 2 rolls on the first guy, okay? A 13 and 15, that means a warhorse misses. And what can we use for a warhorse? I'll tell you what we're going to do. Since this is a magical creature, we'll use these little funny magnets I have. I've got some horse tokens, I'll make it later. So there's one warhorse, it misses him, but then continues on down the hallway. The second warhorse is summoned. They're all around top each other. A 15 and a 16, what did we say we needed to hit again? AC 0, and we said we needed a hit dice 4, needs a 15. Okay, so 15 and 16, that's 2 hits. 1d6 per hit. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to call this Stone Giant 1 minus 9. And then we got that's the second warhorse, our step horse. And then the third warhorse is summoned on top of him. Let's see what those 2 hits rolls are. Whoops, sorry, that rolled off the table. Those are complete flubs and misses, but remember these are magically summoned creatures, they're not real. So then these going to keep going down the hallway here towards these. This is only the 3rd warhorse. What a nasty spell. The 4th warhorse, remember we only need a 15. Nope, a 4, and this is a 17. That's another 1d6 damage. This isn't getting confusing, but don't worry, I'm taking care of it. There's another minus 3. Alright, and then he continues on down the hallway. These things have washers underneath them, that's why they'll stick to each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more warhorse. Let's use a blue one up the rear. What's this other warhorse do? We only need a 15, 2 attacks. 18 to hit and a 14, which is a miss. Another 1d6 damage. Another 5, minus 5. So on the first hill giant, that is a total of 17 damage. He has 51 health. All right. What's 51 minus 17? 4 plus 1, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 3. 30. 7, 11, 7, 5, 35. I hate to say this in a minute. I'm going to do this on a calculator. Here, I'll do it here so you can actually see me, not cheat, right? So we're going to do 51 minus 17. Yes, yes, I know. I'm 30. That's 34. I'm 52 years old, so no problem. 34 health left. So that's the completion of the spell. Now we're going to go down to the next guy. Now they see this stuff coming. They've already won an initiative, but they've seen their buddy in their front do a flub. They see him drop to the ground. It's kind of nasty for them. They're going to be like, what the devil? What is going on? Oh, my goodness. They're just going to get the attack. The spell is going to win that kind of initiative roll, okay? So here we go. 15 hits the next guy. 1 attack, 2 attacks, misses. Then this horse goes to the second guy. There's 1 attack that hits that does 1d6 damage. This is Stone Giant number 2. Number 3, and Stone Giant number 2. Okay, so we got that on the sheet over here. Taking minus 4. 2 more rolls, 15's hit. 6, 14, complete misses. 2 more hits. 9 and 1, completely misses. And then these 2 wild horses stop. And then they're going to turn around and come back and do it again. Next one rolls here. 7 and 2 completely misses. Goes to the next guy. A 15 and 18, that's 2 hits. Stone Giant number 3 in the back's getting nailed. 6 and 6 is 12. So that's minus 16 total so far on number 3 in the back. And then we got one more going to go for him. And then this is he moves off. Remember 15 is all we need. 19 and 7. 1d6 minus 2, still Giant 2. First time he's taken any damage is minus 2. And this one here, we're going to do this one onto him. Just need a 15, 18, and 13. That's 1 hit. 1d6 is a 4. Stone Giant 3's gotten hit again for another 4. He's taken 20 so far. So let me make some notes over here and clean this up so I can keep track of it. So let's put SG2 and SG3. SG2 is 48. But that's been down to 46. And SG3 is 43. And he's been minus 20. Okay. I'm going to write that down on this other sheet here so I don't lose track of it. 48. He's at 46. 34. 46. Minus 20. 23. All right, great. Bookkeeping, bookkeeping, bookkeeping. The next warhorse goes right over here. 13, 17, 1 hit for 1d6 against him. That's Stone Giant, excuse me. That's only 1 damage. That puts that down to 45. Then 2 attacks on this guy. They completely miss. And then they all run down the hallway. And it takes them a while to turn around before they can come back. And after that second round of coming back, I need to figure out how these guys are going to react to this. So the druids attack the spell. She did the spell, and she has to channel this thing. This thing's run down the hallway, and she's going to try to channel them back. But while she's doing that, Zolaris is going to... This is a 10-foot wide passageway, okay? Zolaris is just going to run forward and get between her and this Stone Giant and just pounce on him with the glaive, okay? Remember, he's out of position. He did a roll of a 1. He completely flubbed his original attack with his big, massive warhammer. All right? Now, there's noise happening. And there's one segment's gone by. So Mercedes is going to move to the door. And Vrinjar's hot on the heels, but they can't get in the hallway yet. Obscura's just going to stay back. Antola's going to stay back. Elafonissi's just going to stay back here and clear the doorway as she sees Mercedes come zipping, getting ready to engage in the fight. So, Zolaris to hit a Stone Giant. These Stone Giants are AC 0. Okay, they're 9 hit dice guys. So to hit AC 0, just needs a 6. Shouldn't be too hard to do. Just need a 6. Oh, 5. So he completely misses. So now this she can take the spell and she can turn the war horses around, but let's deal with these two guys here, right? They just got stampeding, went bump, bump, bump. These things when they thunder hooved over on top of them. So it's kind of unfair, really, but they don't do a lot of damage, but they're only hit dice 4. So they're going to turn around and come back. So what would you do? If I was this guy in the back, I would turn around and actively take a swipe at one of these things to defend myself. That means that only the first horse is going to get engaged. It's going to choke up the whole hallway. So the other horses aren't going to. It's a 10-foot wide hallway. So this we're going to put 2 horses on the first guy, almost like the Budweiser truck. And this is the formation of the horses now. The first time they just went boom, 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 just rolled right over him. The guy in the middle is like, what the devil's going on? He didn't really get hurt, so he's just going to rush forward. But it's a 10-foot wide passageway, and he can't get past his buddy. So this guy here's kind of blocked and stuck in the middle. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to pop this over a little bit. There we go. Let's see if we can get a little closer here to the action. Can we go over a little bit? Nope. No, it's too close. No, we need to be able to see everything. This is a few things from afar. All right, so I got this stuff in my notebook. We got 20. Just right over here so you can keep track of it. This guy is only at 20 health left. Okay? This guy is at 34 health left. The guy in the back is 42. They almost wish they didn't show up to this party. The druids, as she finishes summoning the animals and commanding them, she's just going to equip her scimitar and just go ahead and melee as well. So Zollars took attack, and then she's going to attack now. So what does she need to hit AC 0? Dirty little fight. Thank goodness it's a narrow hallway. To hit AC 0, she needs a 12. These guys are AC 0. She gets 1 attack. 16, so she's going to hit. Large target like that is 1d8 plus 2. Not a lot of damage, but it's better than nothing, and she's also blocking the hallway. 1d8 plus 2 is a 5, and so that's going to put him down from 34 to 5. A thumb makes a great eraser. 29 health left. Roll for initiative for baddies. Okay? The roll for initiative for these 3. They've engaged in combat. No one else can get in position. So Giant's going to get 3 rolls. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we're going to give Zollars plus Felcherna, that's her name, the druid, a roll for initiative check too. 6, 7, 8. So Stone Giants win this one. And while I'm at it, let me clean up some of this dirty mess that we've got here, because I'm getting all kinds of war wounds on my hands. All right. So who's he going to attack? I would want to hit that druid. I embarrassed myself taking a swing at her with my huge, massive 2-handed warhammer and her stupid horses that came out of nowhere with her darn wild magic. I want to crush this thing's head in, right? So he's going to focus fire her. He's too dumb to tactically think about the fact that the other guy's really a fighter and much better fighter prowess. He should defend himself, so he's not going to do that. So what does he need to hit her? She's AC 0. To hit AC 0, he only needs a 12. So we're going to do this for you. I'll try to roll this where you can see it better. A 1. Sorry, you have to laugh, man. This is 2 1s back to back. So he let's just do it this way. Grabs a big warhammer, hefts it back up, pulls it up over his shoulder, and does a big heavy overhand swing again, and the druid just basically just like sidesteps him, and he just goes boom, 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 boom down to the hallway, totally out of position, completely fumbled, pulled forward by the warhammer. So as he goes by, losing control of himself, she's going to get a free hit of him. But Zollars is not going to follow. Zollars instead is going to step and intercept to this one. Mercedes going to get a free swing on him too. So the druid's going to get a free swing first. So the druid to hit AC 0 needs 12. There's an 18, and her damage is 1 to 8 plus 2, which isn't a lot, but it's better than nothing. 6 plus 2 is 8. And our little number was 29 plus minus 8. 21 health left. Now, Mercedes loves this stuff. Side, flanking attack guy, not defending himself. I'm going to give him a -2 armor class because he's not actively defending himself. He's off balance. I know it sounds mean. It's unfair. You know she's going to nail the crap out of him, but hey, that's part of the fun. 1 should have a penalty. Don't you agree? You can't be laying on the ground defending yourself with full armor class. No way. So what does she need to hit AC 0? A 6. So AC 0, I'm going to give her a bonus of 2. A 4 or higher, and she nails this guy. 15. So what do we got? 3d6, 3d6 plus 5. That could be enough to wipe him out. Could be enough. Ooh, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 off of 21. What's the math? 10 health left. Wow, that's gotta hurt. Elafonissi can take a swipe too. Might as well join the party. Let's do a monk. Main hand, offhand, unarmed combat, open hand attack, okay? To hit AC 0, she needs 14. So maybe she'll nail him. Maybe she'll stun him. 19 and 18. So that's 2 solid open hand attacks. I believe it's a 1d10 plus 3, I said earlier, for her. Check her sheet. Yep, 3 to 13 is 1d10 plus 3. That's how you get to 3 to the 13. Both those are going to hit. Oh, we also have to remember... Yep, okay, that wasn't high enough. That's a 7 and a 4, which is 11, and he had 10 health left. Splat. Sometimes charging up in the front and swinging a heavy warhammer doesn't pay off if you're not very good at controlling yourself. So that was really exciting. They got lucky with that. Lucky getting that spell off. Lucky he flubbed twice. Lucky that everyone got free hits on him. So we've got some guys here in the back. Let's go back now to the horses. And 2 horses coming to attack this one stone giant. We're going to roll for initiative for the stone giant in the back. 4, 5, 6. This is a 10. And let's give the first 2 war horses an equal chance to hit him. And the 4, 5, 6. So the stone giant gets to go first. The armor class of the magically summoned war horses is go down here to the sheet for the time being. Is like 6. Okay, so he needs to hit AC 0. They need a 12. So you can take away 6 from that. He just needs a 6 or higher to hit a warhorse. He rolls a 2. So he completely misses the first warhorse with this big, heavy, 2-handed hammer. These hammers are great if you actually hit something with them, right? So each of the warhorses, they only need a 15 to hit him, and each one gets 2 attacks. So, boy, we got a lot of dice flying around, don't we? So let's just do the one on the left. I'm going to use the blue guy so we can keep them separated. So the blue horse is going to attack first. Need a 15. Nope, neither attack hits. Now the yellow is going to attack. Nope, neither one hits. That round's over. Let's go over here to Zolaris, where it's 1-on-1 against this guy in the hallway. Now Zolaris took a few steps, but I'm going to be fair and give this guy another initiative roll because his buddies stormed forward and Zolaris is filling in the gap. Let's do that real quick. So that's a 5, 6, 7. And what's Zolaris going to get? This is kind of a 1-on-1 situation. A 1-on-1 situation is always deserves a little extra love. There's no real dex modifier for him. So what do we got? We have 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Zolaris gets to go first. Okay? Let's just move these out of the way here. What does he need to hit this fool? AC 0, he needs a 6 or higher. A 14, an easy hit with a 14. 1d10 plus 1. And then a d8. That's the fire damage. That's a 5. And the 7. 5 and 7 is 12. 12 from 42 is 30. 30 health left. End of the round. Everyone can take a move or decide what to do. What would you do? Okay? What's Vrinjar do? If you're playing Vrinjar, what would you do? He can't really get to the doorway because Miss Bossy Boots is blocking the doorway with her 2-handed sword. So he's just going to have to sit back. The characters just got killed. Elafonissi could take a step forward, and she sees that Mercedes in the hallway, and she's just going to actually take a step back. The druid is actually going to take a step back as well and allow Mercedes to move up to here in position, right past these 2 girder beams, and the 2 of them can tag team and block this guy in the hallway, and it's going to give Vrinjar a chance to walk to here, but he doesn't really have any ranged weapons. He's not a ranged guy. He's a hide in shadows kind of a person. I'm going to let him try and hide in shadows. Not let him try. He wants to try to hide in shadows. There's no torches along this wall. You know, you're hearing it in the audio. In fact, we could turn that off for you. And let's give him a hide in shadows check, right? 59. So what did Vrinjar need again? Let's just check his sheet. 59, 59, 59, 59 versus HS. Where's our HS number? 68. So he's hidden in shadows, but that's it. I'm not going to let him do anything until the next round's over. And what he's going to try to do is move past everyone to maybe backstab this guy. May not even need to. So let's go back over here. Okay? Hill Giant, hitting horses, AC 7, something like that. They only need to hit AC 0 a 12 minus a 7. That means they only needed a 5, or it's AC 6 I said. They needed a 6. So you can take a swing at the blue horse again. Him a 3, he misses. These guys are not doing well in melee at all. And then the horses need a 15 to hit. So these horses are probably going to stampede him to death. Blue horse first. Nope, no hits. Yellow horse next. Nope, no hits. So they're all engaged. The frustration level is mounting. The other horses are trying to push their way through. The whole hallway is chalked up. Now I'm going to make a check in the background because I'm a dungeon master and I know what's happening and what's down the hallway. So we'll see if this noise making any sense. A bunch of horses winning in the hallway could draw more attention. Oh my goodness. And it just did. So this is going to be nasty. So let's go back to this. We're going to roll for initiative here and see what we got. This is the bad guys roll. Stone Giant, 13. Zollers and Mercedes are going to have a combined roll. Just a good old clean who high roll wins. 6, 7, 10, 11. Stone Giant gets to go first. Target selection. Girl in a plate mail. Absolutely. No, you know what? Go for the guy that's already burned him once with a glaive. That's what I would do. Stick to your original target. No reason to switch targets and allow someone to take a swing at you. So, Zollers. AC on Zollers. In this situation, we just pop down here. Is everyone's armor class better? -1. To hit AC 0, they need a 12. So just needs a 11. So 11 is going to hit Zollers. 14. Okay. The damage on these Stone Giant guys is 3 to 18. These Warhammers are really nasty. So he pulls up a good Warhammer swing and does like a bunting swing and pops him to try to hit him square in the chest. So a 3 to 18. Oh, that's a really low roll. Very, very lucky. Very, very lucky. Only 4 damage. So he's just going to take -4. I'll see if I can come up with a way to do that on the screen for you. I'm going to have to jot that in my book real quick, okay? So Zollers is at -4. Now, when you've got as much health as he does, it doesn't really matter. He's at 156. So that puts him at 152. All right. Now, Mercedes and then Zollers get to attack in return. And as I recall, Mercedes only needs a armor to hit AC 0. She needs a 6. Good old straightforward roll. Nothing tricky about it. A 4. She completely misses with her two-handed sword. And Zollers, he needs a 6 as well. And he rolls a 9. So he actually does get to score a hit. And his damage against large targets is 1d10 plus 1 plus a 1d8. 1d10 plus 1 is a 3. Well, that's not 8-sider. Here we go. Here's 8-sider here. A 3 and a 2 and a 5. That's not a lot. Okay, so this guy knocks him down to 25 health. This melee is taking enough time. And in the back of the group, we can see that another hill giant has showed up in the back and is engaging in combat with his horse. But I'm going to do that. I'm not going to roll all that right now. I'm just going to let everyone sees that more dudes are showing up. Okay? One guy comes running down the hallway with no gear on. It's like, oh boy, this is going to get dirty quick. All right, let's just do it one more time. One more time. We're going to roll for initiative between these two, see who gets to go first. And then we'll go do the horses over here. So, Stone Giant with Zollers, 5, 6, 7, 8. Roll for initiative for Mercedes and Zollers versus the Stone Giant. 6, 5, 5, 16. They win the initiative roll. So let's give Mercedes roll. She only needs a 6. There's a 13. That's an easy hit. Her damage is 3 to oops, wrong dice. They don't get to use that one. 3d6. 3d6 plus 5. This is a 5. Plus the other 5 is 10. Plus 4 is 14. 14 damage on him. Puts him down to 11. 25 minus 14 is 11. He's really getting beat up bad. I might morale check him soon. Zollers gets a free swing. 17. That's a nice clean hit. His damage is, where we go? Second guy. 1d10. So 1d10, and there's a 1d8 damage on that. So the 1d10 gets a bonus of 1. So that's 5. And 2, 7. That puts him down to 4 health. This is a morale check situation. When you start a fight off at 48 health and you get knocked down to 4 health, it's like literally almost being crippled. He's going to try to, unfortunately, try to disengage, which is going to give both of these guys a free hit. I know it sounds mean, but I like to play characters the way they would really act. He wouldn't sit there and fight to the death. We could do a roll for that, but in this situation, with how bad it's going and how the other characters are showing up, and this assassin is trying to slip past the shadows on here. In fact, with all that's happening, Vrinjar's going to slip into shadows while he's backing up, and I'm going to let Vrinjar's going to whack him from behind. So what does Vrinjar need to hit AC 0? He needs a 12. Main hand -2. It's a backstab. Should we give him a bonus? +2 to hit. But that's a -2. That's a miss. Offhand. Oh, a natural 20. Double damage, and plus it's a backstab. Ow. So let's do the double damage first on that. Vrinjar's 3 to 13. Is that right? Do I have the number right for him, or is the number wrong? That number's wrong for him. This is the right number for him. Yeah, I'll have to fix that on that sheet at some point. His is 1d8 plus 6. 1d8 plus 6 is 10. Multiplied by 4. Later, dude. Splattered. Don't you love that? One dead stone giant. So we hear a bunch of ruckus and yelling and, oh, what's going on? And the horses are being fighting, and there's horses are over here engaging these other hill giants. Everyone's going to need to filter into this area, okay? So what we need to do is we're going to pull this room away, pull this map out, and we got a map for this area over here. We're going to move and shuffle the whole battle down to here, and that'll probably be our last battle for the night. I think we'll be able to slow things down after that. So bear with me a minute while I switch maps and reposition everyone. So remember, we've got Vrinjars in the front, hidden in shadows. Then we've got, actually we'll leave them exactly where they, we've got Mercedes and Zalaris here. And then we have the Druid and Elafonissi. So we're going to put them off the board like this. So you just put them off the side of the board. This is exactly their positioning. And it gives you a sense of the distance already. And we've got one guy here. And here's some of the horses. And we've got more horses. Horses over here. Hill giants. Hill giants. With another hill giant in the pile here. We're going to get rid of these corpses because we don't really care about that right now. And we will clean this off. All right, cool. I'll try to switch the map fast. Hang on. Okay, this is going to be a little tricky because we're kind of in what you call like a transitional location. So I'm going to tape this map down so I don't bump it. Okay, but I'm going to put this one directly underneath it. Just like this. So we're going to tape this one down, so bear with me because I don't want the map moving around. But I want you to be able to see it. Let me make sure the camera is pointed out in a good way so you can see this. I think if we zoom in, we won't get to see as much, but what we really need to do is we really need to pan over a little bit. So I'm going to take this camera here and do something I wouldn't normally do. Just going to adjust it like this a little bit more. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. Now you can see a little bit better. And because we aren't really in that room yet, we're going to put that just about like this. That should be enough room, and we can slide this over in a minute or two. So to make this simple, I'm going to actually tape this map to this one. Yeah, let's tape these two together. Okay. Let's do it like that. Okay, let me get the glass. I'll be right back. I just realized something. This map is going to be turned the wrong way. I'm going to have to turn it this way. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to include this room for now because there's too much information in there. You're going to get to see it in a minute. Especially since as soon as they take a step forward, they're going to see it. But to keep things simple, I'm going to get that out of the way. And we're going to keep the perspective just the way you had it a minute ago. So you can see where everyone came from. Yep, everyone's coming down this corridor. It was like this. Right? Yep, okay, that's how it was. Okay. Cool, sorry for the confusion. Gotta grab the glass. Don't lean on the glass. Don't lean on the glass. Okay, so here's the hallway where we just were a moment ago. Okay, because remember we moved everyone off the edge of the screen over here. We're going to juxtapose everyone back into their positions. So we had Varenjar in the doorway. We had Mercedes and Zalaris here. We had the Druid here. Oops. We had Elafonissi back here. There was actually a door that's opened here that we're just going to leave open like this. And Obscura and Untold are off the screen, but they're back here. We have one hill giant here. He's engaged, stuck fighting two horses here. We have another hill giant fighting this horse here. And two more of these summoned horses in the back. And two armed hill giants here. This guy's unarmed. Alright, good. Now we can pick up where we left off. Sorry for the delay. Now, we're changing landscapes here a little bit, and the things you can hear in the background are also going to change. So let's just update that for you as well. This will just take me a second. There we go. And we're also going to change, put this microphone a little closer. Let's get some cool combat music going. Alright, now we can actually do a little bit of zooming. There we go. There we go. Now we can see what's happening. There we go. Cool. So we're just going to move this map out of the way, and I'll be right back. So the first thing that's going to happen right off the bat is Varenjar is just going to go ahead and get this guy from behind. He's hiding in shadows. There's no read to roll for initiative or anything like that. He's going to get 2 free swings. So I'm going to give him +2 to hit on this. So I'm just going to nullify the main hand modifier I would normally use, right? So that's a 4. And to hit AC 0, he would need a 12. So he misses with the main hand. And with the offhand is a 2. So he misses. That makes him pop up out of shadows. Took 2 swings. In this kind of situation, it's not like he completely missed someone not defending himself, but he hit them, but it didn't like break through their armor. And the stone giant guys were wearing ringmail. So like 2 solid hits hitting ringmail. When he sees this scene here and sees this hill giant guy here, he also realizes that there's more hill giants bebopping down the hallway, running down the hallway. And the hallway now, there was a doorways that have been opened from a room here beyond, and all the smoke is being drifted down the hallway like this. And these guys here are rushing forward, and there's smoke over here. It's almost like these were hall guards or something. No one seems to be coming from here just yet. So hopefully you can still hear me okay. Let me just make sure that's not too loud in the background. I'm going to turn all the ambient sound just down a little bit. There we go. And let's go ahead and figure out what's going to happen. So Renjar misses. I'm actually going to have him stop where he is and slide to the right to allow these two to take the steps and move here. And when she gets here, she's going to try to engage, these two guys are trying to engage this hill giant here. Okay? The druid's going to move forward and think about casting something area effect, and Elafonissi going to zip around here and try to get with Renjar. And he's actually going to try to move and slide around to the side to get a view of this room beyond. The cleric and the obscure are going to move up to support. Right. So we got to deal with some horses and some hill giants here. I did a couple rolls in the background for that. So we're going to have these summoned horses disappear one by one over the next melee round. These last two horses are going to attack this guy here. His health was actually pretty nasty and low before. So a 15 is all they need to hit. That's a 4, it's a miss. An 8, that's a miss. The other horse, a 20, a natural hit. It was 1d6, that's going to be double damage. 1, that's a 2, that's not very good. And a 12 is a miss. Let me make a notation on him. Okay. This guy is down to 14 health. Elafonissi just to run forward and take a swack at him from behind. Two unarmed strikes from behind. Now, let's get her sheet up so you can see what she needs again. Let's go to her. There she is. There she is. She needs a 14 and 9 complete miss. 6 complete miss. But she's in melee range. She can attack him again the next round. The druid's going to move forward and take a melee swing at this guy as well. And what does she need to hit AC 0? She only needs a 12. A 2, that's a complete miss. So with lots of missing going on, but Renjar is able to reposition himself. There's only 14 health left on this. And the stone giant sees his comrades coming, and instead of attacking the horses, he's going to try to move to the side, and he bumps into Renjar as he tries to move to the side, which makes Elafonissi take a step back and the druid take a step back. And let's just roll for like a dexterity check. Now for dexterity check, it's kind of like rolling the same number of dice that you would roll for your dexterity. So let's say this guy has 8 dexterity. So if you roll 8 or less on 3 6-sided dice, he doesn't lose his balance. Okay, so this is him losing his balance and tumbling backward the direction this weight would carry him. Let's give Renjar a dex check as well. He just got slammed into by a massive stone giant. So his dexterity, I believe, if my memory is 14. So you roll 14 or less on 3 6-sided dice. Okay, that's easily done. That's only a 6. He maintains his balance and is able to slip to the side, and he's immediately going to try to hide in shadows. So these guys are rushing forward. They aren't really paying attention to all the confusion of what's happening here. I'm still going to give him a chance to try to hide in shadows. I think it's a fair thing to do. I know what the other room looks like, and I know how much lighting is in there. So he needs a 68% chance. I'm going to take 20% away. So he needs 48% chance to do it because he's in a line of sight of some people. 48 or lower, he can do it. 59. Nope. There's a little too much light, too many people looking. He thinks he's hidden in shadows, but that means he's going to stop his movement and wait and see what happens there. This gives Elafonissi a chance to attack again on the hill giant that lost his balance. So 2 attacks for her. She meets a pretty high number to hit. So she's a 14. But remember, she gets a 19, she stuns. And once she stuns something, it's wiped out. There's a 4, complete miss. There's a 20. There we go. That's when the monk's going to start destroying things. So here's how it works with a monk. This is something I want to go over real quick that a lot of people don't ever really notice about the monk. The monk has such low armor class most of the time that people don't really realize how nasty they can truly be. So here's how it works with a monk. Let me see if I got some notes here I wanted to mention in this episode. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So I made some notes here, right? I'm trying to see you can see it. So if a monk rolls 5 or higher than what they needed to hit, they stun the target. This is in Player's Handbook. They stun the target for 1d6 rounds. So let's go ahead and roll that right now. And 1 round stun. So remember, my time rules are different. So I'm going to give a segment. So that's a 6-second stun. Like if you're playing Dark Age of Camelot, that's pretty nasty. There's a percentage chance to outright kill the target. It's modified by for level 7 or higher. So level 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I put it on her sheet. If you look very carefully on her sheet,
open hand, 2 attacks, 3 of 13. AC 0 is 14. Here it is. So if a stun hits on 5 or higher, the percentage chance to kill is the armor class of the enemy plus 3 per level. So in her situation, there's a 3% chance she flat out kills the guy, right? So that's just a percentile die roll. Pretty low. It's a pretty low chance. But I just wanted to share that with you. You got to get one of these. They're beautiful. So 3% chance. We want some drama or what? Do you think she can do it? That's pretty low chance. 3% chance. Is red a bad color? Red's a bad color. Let's try something else. You know that when you change your mind, you always ruin everything. Let's use this girly blue color. 3% chance. 3% chance. 26. That's not bad. She still does good damage. The guy's stunned. So he's stunned. He sees this opportunity, rushes forward, and she's going to move around to the flank. That's going to allow the druid to take one step. We're going to take these horses have now dissipated, moved off the scene. The cleric's moving forward. Obscura is really thinking about casting something, but she wants to hold back till it really is time to do it. So we're going to let Vrinjar do an attack, and then simultaneously, these two are attacking while these guys are going to roll for initiative. So I'm going to roll for initiative them right now versus the druid, because the druid's entering the scene for the first time. So, I just screwed that up. Hang on. I think it was a 6 and 3 and 3. Let's just remember that. That was a 12. Let's just say that was a 12. I bumped the dice in my hand. 6 and a 3 and a 3. That's a 12. Let's see what the druid's got, right? 6, 5, 11, 12. So these two, he's going to rush forward and attack her, and he's going to rush forward and not really have room to attack. So now we're going to get Vrinjar's free attacks on this stumbling hill giant. Stone giant. So let's get Vrinjar's sheet back up again. Okay, the AC 0 is a 12. We're going to do -2 in the main hand. The red won't be his main hand as usual. A natural 20. Well, that's just double damage flat out. I don't even care what you say. Despite the fact there's a penalty, a natural 20 is really a 5% chance in life. And a 3. So the main hand, your stronger hand, is going to do 1d8 plus 6 doubled, right? 1d8, 1. 1d8 plus 6, 7, doubled, 14. And if I'm not mistaken, that is enough to kill that dude. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's enough to waste him. Goodbye, Stone Giant. Later, dude. So he's going to be on top of the corpse. She's over here out of position. This guy's trying to attack the druid. The druid's no dummy. So she's going to try to move to pull him this way. And then let's go now. We want to do Mercedes. This guy's trying to get himself into the mix here. And he thinks he's going to go after her. So both these guys are going to go after the druid as she's moving away. These two are going to go after this guy. So what we want to do now is roll for initiative with this unarmed fool coming after the two fighters. So let's just roll for unarmed fool who has a real good buzz going. So that's a 14. He's ready to go. He's got lots of bravado. He thinks he's going to change the world, right? And they are rolling a 12. So he's going to get to go first. So what's he going to go for? Let's go for the dude. Now, I don't want to fight the girl with the sword. I saw what she did. Let's go after the guy. I can grab him and throw him into her. That's his plan. Grab him, throw him into her. So in order to hit for these guys here, the hill giants, they need 14 to hit AC 0. And Zalaris, I believe, is AC -1. Right? -1. -1. So they need a 15. 15. He needs a 15 to grab him, but I like to add a penalty because he's trying to actually like a grapple attack. And I'm going to add 5. So I'm going to move that up to 20. So he needs a natural 20 to grab him successfully. And if he does grab him, he can grab him, throw him around, do what he wants to do. Nope, no way. So the grab attempt fails. Now Mercedes and Zalaris get a chance to attack him. Let's let Zalaris go first. To hit AC 0 needs a 6. There's no way he can miss this unarmed, unarmored guy unless he rolls a 1. That's a 6. That's a nice clean hit. And his damage is... where's our little D10s? I moved them all around. I lost track of them. Here we go. So we need to use a D10 and a D8. Oop, that's the percentile die. So the 2 plus 1 is 3. Plus a 6. 9. Let's keep track of these numbers over here. I'm going to keep track of these numbers here for you. So we have 4 hill giants. We're going to call this 1, 2. Let's go left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2,
3, and 4. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's do it over here so it's cleaner. You should be able to see this area here, right? Okay, great. Let's do it up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Health number. 30, 30. That's 30, 30. 25, 30. So he just took some damage. What did we have? We had the D10 plus 1, which is 3, plus the 6 is 9. So that's 9 was done to number 2. So that puts him down to 21. No, wait till Mercedes lands a hit on him. Okay. It's her chance to hit him. For her to hit the AC 0, she only needs a 6. But this guy has no armor at all. Only if she rolls a 1 will she miss. Only if there's a 1. If she rolls a 1, she misses. I'll use purple for her. A 2. Lucky. I could have flubbed that one quite badly. So she's 3d6 plus 5 on her damage. Whoops, sorry about that. Two-handed weapon. Good old two-handed sword. 3d6. That's a 5 and a 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 from the 21 puts this guy down to 10. So unarmed, dumb, drunk guy is not going to last much longer. But that was a really, really quick sequence. This guy gets a chance to move. So hill giants can move pretty quickly. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to actually have him join in to help his drunk buddy because he's equipped with a club. He's equipped with a club. He's got a club. He's going to take a swing at Mercedes. He's just entering the scene, but he's going to get a free swing at her. Not free, but he's going to get his normal attack on her, right? So she's armor class -2. He would need a 14 normally, so now he needs a 16 to hit her. So a 14, so he misses. He comes up with the club and whoosh, just completely misses her. So Zalaris is going to put his back to the wall and then take his pole armor and thrust it directly into this other guy's stomach. So there's no way he can miss unless he rolls a 1. A 20, double damage. That should pretty much wipe this guy out. What was number guy? He's at 10. It's almost not worth rolling. Let's just roll it for fun factor, right? So we need to roll a d10. D10 plus 1 is 10. And the fire damage is doubled as well, right? That's fire damage. So you have the 9 plus 1, which is 10, and the fire damage, which is 15, times 2 is 30. And also, it's such a nasty forward thrust. I'm actually going to have him carry forward as he eviscerated the guy and pushed him against the wall. You can see that in your mind, can't you? So Billy is dead, or whatever his name is. Goober Maximus is dead. So this guy stepped into the scene. Mercedes is going to square up against him. But let's return back over to this area, okay? We don't want things to go too long. Let everyone get a chance. Elafonissi has a 24 movement rate. She's going to try to move around to the flank. This guy's got the druid right in front of him. The druid knows what Elafonissi is doing because they're sisters. And, hello, move out the way. Puppy's helping. Varenjar is going to square up and take a step off the corpse and engage this guy. And Tolo's going to come up and block the hallway. And Obscura, I know it doesn't look like she does much, but she saves it for the real emergencies. Phantasmal Killer is a real game killer for people. So she's not going to go around blowing that every 10 minutes. Let's roll for initiative over here, okay, which is number 3 and number 4. The combat with number 1 versus Mercedes this is separate. These are going to be a group, okay? Looks like a math class now, doesn't it? All right, initiative roll for group number 2. Group number 2 of baddies. What do they get? Oh, that's a great roll. 13. A 13. Let's see what our group of 4 can do for that. Can you beat that? 6, 7, 8, 9. No, you lose it. So we're going to go from left to right. He's going to continue to take a swing at the cleric that's stepping forward, which is a really bad idea. But it's just like, hey, this guy stepped right in range of me. Let me just go ahead and take a swipe at him. Remember, cleric's one of our most heavily armored guys on the screen. So for hill giants hit AC 0, they need a 4, but you got to add 4 because he's AC -4, and he's got the flail and the shield up ready to defend. So he needs an 18 to hit him. Okay, an 18 to hit Antola the cleric. A 16, no way. Bang, right up against the shield. Now it's Varenjar's. Actually, let's do the second guy's attack over here. He's going to keep going after the druid because Elefanissi's taking a one-step type situation, doing a half movement rate. He needs a 14 to hit her naturally, and she is AC 0, so that works out perfectly. So a 14 will hit Filcherna. A 15, so she gets nailed. And it is 2d8 damage with nasty clubs. 2d8, 2d8, 2d8. Ooh, 10 damage. Not too bad. She's at 80, so she's down to 70. So we're going to put this down here. we'll say fail equals 70. Okay? So they've attacked. That's all done. We still have an issue over here. Let's go back to... Now, actually, excuse me. Now we get to do counterattacks at this side. So we'll start off with the cleric. Okay? What does our cleric need? He's a melee cleric today, isn't he? He's like a warrior priest. So what's he going to do? To hit AC 0, he only needs a 10. There's one thing about clerics in the first edition. They're actually decent at melee. He only needs to hit 10 to hit AC 0. These guys are like AC 7. So he only needs a 3 to hit this guy. A 3. That's ironic. You never know what's going to happen. And his damage is 2 to 8, which is 2 4-sided dice. Plus 4, because it's a magically enchanted weapon. It's a plus 4 flail. So we're going to roll 2 of these and add 4. Top number 1 and 1 plus 4 is 6. So let's go ahead and do our math problem over here. So this is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So number 3 took 6. That puts him at 19. I think it's more fun to write the health on the board like this. Yeah, well, you can keep track of it. And also it gives you a sense of who should be looking at who and how much damage they have. You see someone really bloodied and eviscerated, you're going to pounce on them. Focus fire the most wounded person. Vrenjar gets an attack on this guy now, too. Correct? It's the cleric attack. Now Vrenjar gets a main hand and an offhand. Main hand is -2. And I need a character sheet switcher. To hit AC 0, he needs a 12. These guys are like, these guys are AC 7. Is that what he said? Take 7 away from 12 gives me a 5. So take that roll, -2. Main hand misses. Take that roll. Oh, and he's a 5. That hits. So the offhand hits. Sorry, I was getting confused with the math in my head. And so the damage for him is going to be 1d8 plus 6 against giant-sized targets. 1d8 plus 6 is a 9. So that's going to put him down to 10. These guys hit hard, but they don't hit, and they can hit easily. They just can't take the hits. So now it's the druid's turn and then Elafonissi's turn. So the druid gets a melee attack. She's not going to do any magic. There's really no point. She's just going to take a swing. She needs a 12 to hit AC 0. Add 7 to 5. A 5 or higher, a natural 5 or higher. There's a 12. She hits. Her damage is 1d8 plus 2, I believe. Yep, that's correct. 1d8 plus 2. Plus 2 is a 9. So that's this guy over here, number 4. So the 9 comes off the 30, puts us to 21. That's not a bad hit. That's like a third of the guy's life. So a nice skewering scimitar thrust. Maybe a little pop in the face with a wooden shield. And then Elafonissi's going to do 2 open hand attacks. Now, remember what I said a few minutes ago about stunning? Okay, this is where druid really, monk really does a good job. She only needs a 14 to hit AC 0. She only needs a 7 to hit this guy. So if she rolls, if either of these rolls here, okay, are a 12 or higher, this guy's stunned and has a % chance to be killed. So both of them, this guy's stunned. In fact, there's 2 stuns, like a straight left and a right hand, overhand right. So I'll do the purple one would be the main hand stun. That's 2 segments and 6 segments. This is a 40-second stun. I'm actually going to say he is knocked out on the ground, prone. This is like a Conor McGregor hit. Sorry, Khabib, you're going to lose that fight. So this guy is stunned. I'm going to make him turned red and just coup de grace him. I'm not even going to take a chance. It's being stunned, lying on the ground, unconscious for 40 seconds. Even John McCarthy can't save you from that one. So he's dead. But Elafonissi is not a coup de grace person. So what she's going to do is she's just going to run at high speed to engage the same target that Mercedes had. Now, if you remember the drama from one of the previous episodes, that Mercedes and Elafonissi have been kind of doing this little tension thing going back and forth. So this is kind of a thing. She's decided to do this, maybe losing a little bit of personal control to like, I'm going to show you how to take something out. Her confidence is booming from this knockout hit that she just did this guy here. In fact, I didn't even roll for the % chance to kill. But the coup de grace would kill him, so we're not even going to do that. So we done that round over here. We got one guy left alive over here. This guy, number 4, he is dead. So this guy, we got one guy with 3. Number 3 has 10 health left. And number 1 is dead, right? Oh, I just messed it up. No. Number 1, number 2. This guy had 30 health left. He's got 30. We'll call him 1 now. We'll call this guy number 2, and he has 10 left. That's what it is. All right. So, Elafonissi from behind But she should roll for initiative because she just finished an attack. So we're going to come back over here and pretend that we're rolling for initiative between the Hill Giant and Mercedes. So the Hill Giant rolls an 11 plus 3 is 14. And what do we get out of Mercedes? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the Hill Giant wins the initiative battle there. And I'm going to give Elafonissi another roll because she's coming in from behind, like flanking. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not really enough. I mean, by the time she moves to the knocked out target, takes a step over them, realizes the Druid's going to do a coup de grace, and even though she has a fast movement rate, she's just here, but she's going to get to attack second. So the Hill Giant's going to get an attack on Mercedes. All right, two-handed club. I'm going to avenge my fallen brothers. Sure you are. What does he need to hit her? She's AC 0. He needs a 6. He needs a 14 to hit AC 0. No, she's AC negative 2. Excuse me. He needs a 16. He needs 16 to hit her. A 6, a complete miss. Okay, now we go back. Elafonissi gets a swing. Main hand. Actually, let's do it this way. I'm sorry, I'm cheating on this one. Let's do it this way. Let's roll both these at the same time. Main hand and offhand. 7 and 17. That 17 is going to be another stun, and it is a 5, which is 30-second stun. I'm going to let Mercedes go ahead and get a free absolute hit to see if it double damages. Nope. A 17, and Mercedes going to get 3d6 damage. 2, 3. I'm going to actually double this up. You know, this guy's stunned. They're going to coup de grace him. He is dead. There's no way that he's going to live. And Elafonissi's not going to participate in that. She's going to move over here to the hallway and try to hide in shadows. So she's disengaging. Her hide in shadows is 68, I believe. That's 90. There's no way. She thinks she's hidden in shadows, but she's not. All right. Almost done. This is our last battle for tonight's game session. What's happening? One guy still left alive, engaged with the cleric and Varinjar and the druid. The druid's actually going to step over the target. She's finishing him. Obscura's going to take a step here. The cleric's going to do a one step this way, and Mercedes going to finish chopping this guy to pieces. So now it's going to be he's going to take a step, and Varinjar's here. So I'm going to give this Hill Giant guy he's been fighting the cleric so far, but after hitting that shield and going bang and hitting the shield, he may change his mind and maybe try to go after her because she's moved forward. He's like, hey, look, there's a girl wearing just a dress. Let's go after her, or a robe. So when he does that, though, Varinjar's going to get a free hit from behind, but he doesn't really understand those kind of tactics. So what we're going to do is we'll roll for initiative with the Hill Giant versus Obscura as if they just engaged for the first time. So the Hill Giant is going to do 12, 13, 14. And what is Obscura going to roll? 6. She's going to roll a 12. So he actually is able to take the step and intercept her and get in her face. And he's going to get a free attack of opportunity, and so will the cleric. And no one's really been damaged. Felturner was the one person that got hurt in any kind of way. So this is Varinjar's main hand. I'm going to give him an additional +2 because the guy is running by. It's an attack of opportunity kind of attack. So Varinjar needs... These guys have fun to play. I love playing Assassin. They're not really resilient, but they can do a lot of damage in the right opportunity. The Assassin and the Druid combination done right are really nasty. They're just not super resilient. They have low health. So what does he need to hit? AC 0 is a 12. Take away 5. I'm getting a bonus of 2. If he rolls a 3 or higher, oh, that's -2. Right, because of the main hand weapon penalty. He's dual wielding. That's a miss. Offhand hit's fine. I'm not going to give it a backstab because it's just a moving by flanking shot. It might hit him in the arm or something, right? It's not really going to be a true, tried and true backstab. So it's 1d8. What's his damage again? Let me see here. Let me take a peek. 1d8 plus 6, right? 1d8 plus 6. That's a 7. So who is up here? Number 1, number 2, a 7. That puts him down to 3. Oh, this guy got killed. Yep, he got killed. This guy's over here. This is down to 3. That's just the last guy. 3 health left. That doesn't look very good. Let's let the cleric take a swing and wipe him out. What does the cleric need to hit AC 0? I think it was a 10. Wasn't it a 10? Yeah, it was a 10. The guy's AC 7. He's hitting him from the flank with a bonus of 2. There's no way he can miss unless he rolls a 1. So he rolls a 6. That's fine. And his damage is 2d8, which is 2 4-sided dice. Let's do the 2 blue ones. He gets a +4 on this. So 4 and 4 is 8 plus 4. That's a 12. Another dead Hill Giant in the hallway. Wow, that was noisy. Okay, that was a lot of noise, a lot of yelling, a a lot of clanging of armor, a lot of coup de grace, bloody messes going on. So let's get things quieted down a little bit here. Okay? So bear with me while we calm things down. There we go. Let's go back to the torch sounds. All right. There we go. Nice and moody again. So this has gone very bloody and very messy, but there's enough noise happening in this room this way where it conceals the sound of this nasty fight, right? So what needs to happen now is Varendra's going to take a peek into here, and Elafonisi's going to hide in shadows and dart across the hallway to secure this direction. Mercedes and Zolaris are going to move here to make sure nothing's coming down the hallway. The Druid's going to take a one step here, and Toll's going to step here and one here. And we're going to switch maps for the last time tonight and try to get everyone to secure things down before we wind up tonight's session. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch the maps real quick like. Just take us a second. So get rid of all this bloody mess everywhere. Clean this up. There we go. All right. Map switch. I've got it right over here. Just give me a second. Okay, we're back. So let's get folks oriented. I'm trying to make sure I keep the map oriented the same way for you. Had to zoom out a little bit so you can see things a little bit better. That's about as good as that's going to get. We're going to slide this down just a touch for you. Try to get this centered. There you go. This is one of those situations where the room is bigger than the board. I'll get a bigger board soon. Okay, where is everyone? So we have this big, beautiful hallway. I'm going to put people in the room first, and then we're going to talk about the room, and then we're going to wrap up what they're going to do next, because this is a good place for them to stop things. So we had Elafonissi hiding shadows. Now along this wall back here, I'm just going to point real quick. Around this wall, because we're going off the edge of the board here, is a bunch of swords and shields and human heads and orc heads and ogre heads and heads of elves and heads of dwarves, like mounted on the wall, like something you would see a taxidermist would do with like a deer, okay? Those are trophies. Over here is like a massive dragon head. So there's a lot of trophies along this wall. There's a big pair of double doors over here. There's a big arched opening. This ceiling goes really tall, like 40 foot. Big rafters and beams going across. Magnificent, huge flagstone fireplace. Big, beautiful bear rugs with tables with wood grain tables on it, chairs all around. A real nice space. If you played Wrath of the Lich King in World of Warcraft, you can probably imagine some of the dungeons had rooms that look like this in it. So she's gonna, once they realize there's nothing in this room, Elafonissi is going to pop out. Then Varinjar and Mercedes going to move to here. The Druid's going to go over here. This disgusts her. She doesn't like seeing that. Obscura's going to come in the room, take a step forward. And Varinjar's going to come in here. And then here we have Antola. So let me just look up some details in this room for you real quick, all right? Turn this down a little bit. There you go. So there's two big tables, a bunch of chairs, a bunch of stools, rugs, hides, skins. There's all kinds of pottery flagons that they would drink beer and wine out of. There's platters with food on it. All the food looks like it got finished being eaten and just left there. No one really picked up behind themselves. In fact, there's one mug of beer that's kind of fell and hit the floor and shattered over here, spilling beer all along the ground here. These chairs are all pushed back kind of suddenly. There is a big backpack on the table, flopped open, and there's a number of pieces of parchment and a map tube lying on the table. It's almost as if the stone giants heard what was happening and came running around the corner into the passageway that you guys were over here. So if you remember correctly, they were down this hallway here, and there was another room over here. We had the fight with the horses and all that kind of stuff happened about here. It's a 10-foot wide corridor. One other detail you may remember is the room that had the old lady in it and the three other giantesses. That door is like down here, okay? And then we had the room from 2 episodes ago where we killed all the little young giants that were doing jujitsu. That's going to be back here. So we had the hallway that everyone kind of moved our way through. Big arched opening here. This leads down to like a big feast hall. Now everyone's in this big magnificent room. So they realize that this is an aperture. So it's time for everyone to kind of get moved into the room down to the opposite end. So Obscura is going to move back down to here. Mercedes is going to walk along the wall and check out and inspect these weapons. Now on this wall here, there's all kinds of really huge kite shields. They look like they're made for giants though, like maybe like fire giants or something. They don't look like something a hill giant would use. Hill giants are like club, smash, me smash, kill. These are beautiful shields that are like handcrafted with gold and silver on it. They're like trophies taken from maybe another clan or something like that. Mercedes is going to inspect these closely. Zolars isn't interested in that. He wants to stay close to Varinjar while he's securing this hallway here. And Obscura is going to come down here where there's a big pile of wood that would be used to feed the fire over here. And here's some more wood used to feed the fire over here. And here's a big skin on the wall. And Varinjar knows these things sometimes have passages behind them. So he's going to check this area for secret passages. She's actually going to walk up and listen at this door. Zolars are going to come here and go, oh my God, that's the biggest dragon head I've ever seen. Many whelps handle it. And so you got spilled beer on the ground here that everyone just stepped over. And Elafonissi is just going to zip herself over here and look at the shields, take a glance. I'm not interested in this, but she's very interested in that. Now, if you remember closely and were paying attention earlier, she snatched some scrolls and parchments off a table. So she pulls these things out of her little side pouch and gets this map tube and unravels it and rolls out this map on the table. And guess what? The writing on the map and the sketches on the map match the same language. This draws the attention of Atola. And then the druid's going to come over to this side of the table as well, and they're looking at that. So these three are going to see if they can identify what language this is and what kind of writing it is. It's a sketch and a drawing of massive, like rift-shaped cavern. So let's just, if you can see over here, I'll draw you a little sketch of what it might look like. See this massive rift canyon like this with big, deep valleys. All right, and then the map has like marker here and a marker here, and it has dot path going this way, and it's got a crude little arrow pointing north, and it says this big massive thing here, and there's some kind of weird notation, some kind of elven writing. It looks like a bunch of curves and weird jibble bits. It almost looks like my typical marker racing, and it's got a big arrow pointing to this area here, and then there's a big black dot right there. So that's what you're seeing on this piece of map parchment that's laying on the table. So it's like it's identifying somewhere else. It's like a big canyon and everything like that. And there's a few little pictures of like dangerous creature here and dangerous creature here. It's like a big rift. And so they're looking at that. And let's see if they can figure out what that's all about. And we've got Antola up here. Now he's got really decent intelligence and really good wisdom. Now, he's from Ket. That means he's a priest, so he's well educated in things related to the Flanae, the Ket dialect, the Buklunish. But I'm going to give him just a basic, fundamental wisdom and intelligence check. I'm going to do both of them. The intelligence check will be if he can identify what language it is. The wisdom check will be if he can kind of sort of figure out what it actually says. Okay? So intelligence check just to identify that what it is, and wisdom to see if he has the knowledge from over time and life experience to actually try to figure out what it says. Like if you were to hand me a piece of paper that had German written on it, I've lived in Germany before, so I could probably figure it out. I may not know it exactly. So intelligence check 17 or less. 4, 5, 6, 7. He's like, you know what? This is drow writing. And what does it say? We're going to roll 14. Nope, 17 or less. 17 or less. Oh, what is that? That's 11. Oh, okay. He can decipher it. That's a 15. 17 or less, 15 on his wisdom check. So we're going to let the druid do the same thing. All right? Even though this guy's rolled perfectly, he knows what it is. I'm going to give Falcerno a chance to figure it out as well. So her intelligence check, 4, 5, 6, 7, she makes that easily. And her wisdom check, she makes that easily. She says is definitely drow writing. It matches the writing that the writing they first found when the child was abducted, and they found the dead drow elf with his head splattered with a boulder, and inside his chainmail jacket was a map to this place. In fact, it almost looks like someone with more elegant skills has written this, and the parchment on this is some really strange black papyrus material that is translucent. When you lift it up, light goes right through it, but you have to set it back down on an opaque surface for light to really reveal the writing. It's like, imagine taking like a white marker and writing on a black piece of paper that's made of like vellum or freezer wrap. And Elafonissi going to take a look at it. Now, she's not really going to glean any much more than that, but you never know. If I get like a really epic roll on her, she might be able to say exactly what that is. So we're going to roll for her intelligence check, 15 or less, easily. And then her wisdom roll, 12 or less. Excuse me. Yeah, that was 12. And then 15 or less on this one. Yep. She's like, I know where that is. That's in the Yato Mountains to the north of here. So let's go back to our map. She knows where this location is. Here's where it gets fun. Just really got to use the rolls to help the. So she says, you know, when we were kids, this is where we grew up, right? When these guys were kids and young ones, let's go back up here. Here we go. When these were kids, they grew up in this area here, the Tiger Nomads area, right? And there's one major city here near these hills. But up in these mountains up here, things get really, 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 really cold. It's like frozen peaks year-round. It's like the White Mountains in Crete or somewhere you might see in Colorado. And there's a number of canyons, and she called this is the glacial rift. She says, I know exactly where this is. Everyone says that there's frost giants up there, but no one ever goes up there because the pass is always frozen. Many, many years ago, Lake Quag, which is in Perrin Land to the east of here, there used to be problems with the frost giants would come down and raid the lake when the lake was frozen over. But that hasn't happened in a long, long time. She's like, why would there be this mystical piece of paper? And then Mercedes said, listen, Obscura, I need you to go check this out. So she's going to bring Obscura over. And she's going to take a look at this because she's very, very, very intelligent. So let's get Obscura up. And they're conjecturing about what does this all mean? What does this mean? 18 intelligence. 18's intelligence check. Only if I roll 6s on all 3 of these. Okay. She takes a look at it, reads through it, looks at it both directions, looks at the one pieces of paper that Mercedes had, talks to the druid. She asked Mercedes some questions like, well, when you were a kid growing up, you talk about this area in the Yato Mountains. Were you talking about this region or that region? And she says, I know from years and years ago when these frost giants used to attack this area, this is where supposedly their frost giant king lives. And so Antella's like, I don't know. That seems kind of weird. Why would they abduct the child from Ket, take the child through Molvar, all the way around? Because remember, when this child was first abducted and they were on the trail, the hill giant fortress is down here. So you see where Molvar is? So the child was abducted from Molvar and taken on land into this valley, into the fort that we're in right now. And so along the way, we discovered a clue about drow being involved, maybe hiring the hill giants as lackeys. Now we bumped into some stuff here on the table where the stone giants were. And let's take a look inside the backpack. So she said, well, was the backpack here as well? Pulls the backpack open. And she gets inside, and there's like a bunch of food and a bunch of bread, and then there's this black dagger. And this black dagger is exquisitely crafted, and it's about the size of something that a small elf would use. So it's like an elven dagger, but it doesn't really seem to radiate any kind of magic or anything, but it has this kind of like hum going on with it. So imagine someone handing you a piece of steel that was just perfectly made, jet black, shiny, and it feels like it has more weight than it really seems to do. But it doesn't seem magical. It seems like it'd be like a bayonet almost. So she's looking at this dagger, and scripted along the blade is a name, right? And there's an emblem. So we're going to do another not a dex check, another intelligence check. Everyone's gathered around the mystery here, right? So we're going to do Antola check against his wisdom and intelligence again. So let's get back to his sheet again. Where is he? Down here? Here we go. So an intelligence check, 6 and 6, that's 12, that's 13. Intelligence checks, he makes it. His wisdom check, he makes it. That looks just like that symbol that we saw that was originally on the Drow Elf's amulet. So, that's starting to make sense. So if you look here on the trail slide from the story from episode 1, around the neck of the dead Drow Elf was an amulet bearing the insignia of the house Eviscerate, however you want to pronounce it. Now, you old schoolers are going to know exactly what this all means, but folks who don't know the old lore from the 1978 edition of this module, you can see already where our story is going with this stuff. But for those of you who don't know, I'm not going to spoil it for you. So, a stone giant has a gift dagger in his backpack from the house Elserve. He has instructions in his backpack of where to take the child with written in Drow language to a location that they know where it is in the Yato Mountains where they all grew up. So everyone thinks now everyone else is coming in closer. Now I'm not going to do his check because there's nothing back over here. Everyone's going to gather around the table now. It's almost like a Hearthstone scene. So what does that mean? It's like the scene in Aliens where they're all talking about what to do, but when Ripley's talking with all the other space Marines. It's like, what should we do? What's going to happen? So we have two options. Option number 1 is going to be what Mercedes thinks we should do. Option number 2 is going to be what the Druid thinks we should do. And option number 3 is going to be what Obscura and then Antola thinks we should do. Mercedes thinks that we should kill every single person in this location and see if there's some kind of way we can find more clues to truly confirm this, because this information could be a plan that hasn't happened yet because the child could still be here, right? So we're going to write this down here. Plan number 1 is stay. Okay? What's plan number 2? And then we'll put plan number 3. Plan number 2 is forget that, abandon everything and immediately go head to the glacial rift of the Frost Giant King and either get there early ahead of them, or hopefully we can travel quick enough and hope that the child's brought here, because there doesn't seem to be any evidence that says anything's going to happen to the child here. This is like a waylay point. So what's the third option? Okay? What would be the third option? If you were there with your adventurers and your friends, what would you do? I think the third option is we need more information. It's almost like intelligence in the military. You need more information. So we don't have enough information to go on a wild goose case. We don't have enough information to really know whether we should stay. We should just keep going until we get more information. Once we have more information, then we should have this decision again. Okay? So in summary, stay and look for the child here, abandon everything and head to the glacial rift of the Frost Giant Jarl. Or number 3, keep looking for information, but the moment you get it, then abandon it and go do what you want to do next. So how are we going to do this? Okay? So this is where I want charisma to come into play, and we're going to wrap this up. Mercedes' charisma is 17. Okay? Let's do a check against her charisma. If I roll 17 or less on these die, she has a convincing argument. So this is a still valid argument. The Druid's charisma, it's 15. If I roll 15 or less, that means she's convincingly also said that her argument's good too. So her argument's still good, which is abandon everything and go straight to the glacial rift of Frost Giant Jarl. What is Obscura's charisma? 16. If I roll a 16 or less, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, that's a 14. That was a 15, isn't it? Yeah, that's a 4. So 9 and 6 is 15. And her charisma is 16. So she meets it. So all three options are now valid. So we're going to have a discussion about this. So Antola's going to need to come into that equation. So Elafonissi, Vrenjar, Zalaris, and Antola now need to have a say. If you were Vrenjar, what would you do? I say we stay here and keep looking. He's bloodthirsty. He agrees with the look for more information and stay option. Elafonissi, she agrees with that as well. What does Antola want to do? He's the tiebreaker. Zalaris is like, I have no idea. I'll do whatever you want to do. I just want to get the child back. And Tolo's going to have to balance this out. And he's like, you know what? There's no way we're going to abandon things when the child can still be here. So we're now at a tiebreaker, 50-50. All right, kids, here's the roll of truth. If I roll 51 or higher, we're doing this option. If I roll 50 or less, we're going to do this option. And they're not really that big of a dangerous options, but it could change the course of everything. So stay and kill everything, or keep going forward until just we get enough information to decide what to do. So stay and kill everything. All right, you ready? It's a percentile dice roll. Here's the roll. You ready? 12. So Mercedes gets her way. She's in her way, what she wants to do, that's what she wants. We're going to stay here and kill every single last one of them. And if we get enough information, then you can talk to me about it. If it's not enough information to convince me, I want everyone here dead. We have to search this place to every nook and cranny until we find the child. After we do that, then we can talk about other options. So that concludes tonight's episode. It's a long one. I hope you had fun with it. The whole party's going to camp down here. Not camp down, but they're going to secure the room and position themselves appropriately to be safe. They have a lot more information on hand. Over the weekend, I'm going to put together a debrief session that talks about the experience dispersal, how we made some of the videos, some of the storyline elements, and maybe write a recap and step away from the moment-to-moment combat gameplay, document some of the stuff for people who like to have the handouts. But that was a really fun, exciting episode. Lots of killing, lots of fighting, but some really cool, critical pieces of information. There was a percentage chance early in the fight where Elafonissi did not take that paper with her. If she had not taken that paper with her, and if they had not made these checks, they wouldn't decipher this clue, and all had to lead down to deductive reasoning. So if you're the player, and this was happening with you, you would have to make these kind of decisions as well. And that's half the fun of the game, is thinking as you if you're one of the players yourselves. So we're going to wrap things up. We hope you had a great show. This should be on YouTube within the next hour or so, and I'll try to post either on Patreon or on Facebook when the next episode might be. Stay tuned to all the locations. Something neat will happen again real soon this weekend. Take care, and I hope you've had fun. And if you have feedback and comments, always feel free to share it.